Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show today. It is Easter, as I've been informed, which is really interesting because Easter is usually like weeks later. But oh, who am I to know? I wouldn't want to dare interfere with the Jubas's calendar, official stuff. What do I? That's all. You get in trouble for that in Europe. They put you in jail. You can't say anything negative against the Jubases. Did you know that?
I did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did.
So, but it is strange because Easter is usually like the third Sunday of April, is it not?
It varies, but yeah, I remember it being later in April for some reason.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm sure there's some kind of planetary alignment that caused it. I'm sure, but I shan't bring attention to it. I don't want to get signaled out and pointed as being something incorrect. So that's not a good thing these days, since that's kind of what happens on a daily basis now. But that's all right. We've come here to talk about fun things and then laugh at stupidity. There's a lot of that. So I am currently sharing. So while I do that, why don't you tell people how great a day you had?
I actually did have a good day. Went out to went out to breakfast with the family. My father, my sisters, their spouses, their children. Nice big, about 12 people, and of course my wife.
Right?
And that was actually nice because a lot of times my family gets together. They're all like me, so it can get unpleasant. But it was actually pretty good. Everybody was chill and no arguments, so that was good. Um, but yeah, that was nice. My wife went and watched her nieces and nephews do their egg hunt thing, and
Oh,
I
that's
took a
nice.
nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I am having delicious, very traditional Easter food in rice, shrimp, and steak. So there's that.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I actually always enjoyed Easter. I moved around a lot because my
Mhm.
dad was a military type guy, government guy, right? And we lived in the South where actually he was from, the town he's from, for a while. And going down there was a very different experience. Now, being an American, like most American kids, I was raised in a church. We kind of standard American parenting. And
Oh yeah.
the church down there was very nice. They'd spent a ton of money. They built a new one. It had like these crushed red velvet seats. It was a really nice place, actually. But
Mm.
they couldn't get. You can't take the redneck out of redneck. You can't.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't
Can't
matter
be
how
done.
you can't be done. And we had this little fenced, penned-in area, and every Easter we had the pig chase. Yeah. I'm telling you, dude,
You ever
catching it,
chase anybody listening? You ever try chasing a pig that don't want to be caught? That's an exercise.
it
That'll get you
is.
going.
Like you put the kids at it, it's quite entertaining, I imagine. But catching a greased pig is quite the thing. The good thing is you get taken home, then Daddy butchers it in the backyard, and you eat it.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said about redneck life. I don't know, but we got Combo Bob in here. Hey, what's up, dude? We got Roger Heller as well. We got Jimmy Ortiz in here, and he says, "Combo Bob, Chester, what kind of sorcery is this?" Well, I am a sorcerer, sir. I like to laugh at some stupidity. So do I, dude. Confirmed.
Me too.
Chester's CIA. Well, my dad was. Do I have to live by the sins of the father? Is that the way it is? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Especially on Easter. Especially on
especially
Easter.
on Easter. Actually, I think my dad was more like DOJ. Back before, I don't know how long we've had the DOJ, but he kind of worked for the Pentagon, and they would lend those guys out to various missions to various people. I don't know what would
Hmm.
that be under DOJ, probably, right?
Probably DOD, Department of
DOD.
Defense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, that was his thing. They go all over the world, and wherever people were doing, government was doing their stuff, and he was a shooter team leader. So whatever that is, DOD, DOJ, Pentagon. He usually just said he worked for the Pentagon, is what he said. But he didn't
Yeah.
say much, to be fair. Yeah, he didn't talk about those things very much.
Well, he probably was very much not allowed.
Probably not. Yeah, I did hear him talk about like Vietnam and some other stuff. Sometimes when he was talking to some of the older men who were also in war, I
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to be listening, you know,
Right.
but
Yeah.
but I did.
Mm-hmm.
And they get into talking about some stuff. And it seems from listening to those conversations, my uncle was actually on the DMZ in the Korean War, and the Americans did cross the Yellow River first, according to him, and he was
Uh-oh.
there. So I don't know.
Oh. Well,
Oh,
history is always written by the victor, so.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
And I guess thanks to the greatest president of the last 35 years at least, Donald John Trump, we are officially the victor of that war. So
Are we? Oh, nice.
we get to write our own history now.
Sweet. Who's on the panel? Lorenzo says. Well, it's me and him.
Yeah, I'm him.
Yeah, he's him.
My
I'm
new
me.
name. Yeah.
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 That's Thundero, of course. He's come here to give you his. I guess you are the right wing white supremacist Nazi guy. That's your job.
Somebody's got to get that done. It might as
Someone's
well
got
be
to get
me.
it done. So,
Yeah.
yes. So what's my position then?
You are the you're the crypto fascist living in Japan. That's you now.
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm the Looney Tunes guy that sit and does conspiracy theory on YouTube, like in the brand new Godzilla versus Kong. I'm that guy. I'm black all of
Yeah.
a sudden.
You're
Damn,
Black Alex Jones. That's what I've been calling him, Black Alex Jones.
Black
I
Alex
didn't. I
Jones.
didn't hate that character. I was surprised that I didn't hate that character, but I didn't because he got out
Yeah.
of the way and I got to watch monsters fight. That's all I
Yeah.
was there to do.
Well, we are going to talk about that today, so buckle up.
Uh oh.
Yeah. Anyway, happy to have you guys here. Please do hit the like button and share this out for us. We do appreciate having you guys in, having a chat, and we got some stuff to talk about. Hey, Arlene, how you doing? Yeah. Well, I think we should just get into it because I got opinions. So,
Uh oh.
yeah.
And you know what? You know what they say about opinions and everybody having one.
There's some snarky comment. I can't remember.
Yeah.
You go ahead and cover it. Yeah.
Opinions are like buttholes. Everyone has one and they all stink.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That'll work. That'll work. All right. Let's get this started. Now, you guys know I like Star Wars board games. And today I kind of want to introduce more of a creator than the game itself. Board games has its superstars just like any other media, of course. Who's the guy that creates those movies like 16 Candles and those life, quirky life movies, Breakfast Club. What's that dude's name?
Oh, see, I do know this, unfortunately, because I have a wife. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he was big in the '80s.
Yeah, he was, and he makes some stuff. And we just saw a movie. I think it was called Drive recently that reminded me of him, and probably was his movie to be honest with you. Chester's married. He's not allowed to have opinions. Fair enough, Jeff. We're going to get into it in a minute, comic book Bob. Just hold on a second. Hold your horses. But Ryan Larkett kind of reminds me of that. It's quite colorful stuff. It's very mundane, made interesting. John Hughes, yeah, comic book Bob is on it, dude. Yes, that's exactly who I mean. Ryan Lockett, this guy I'm talking about, he's kind of like John Hughes in many ways in the board gaming, I think. And he makes wonderful games. They're mechanically perfect, just like John Hughes movies are. Whether you like the medium of choice or not by him, he's a really good filmmaker.
Yes,
The nuts and bolts are correct.
and
Uh,
the movies he makes are pretty much anybody can watch them and probably relatively enjoy them.
yeah,
Now, is it something I'm going to sit around and want to watch all by my lonesome? No, but if I'm watching it with the wife, it's not the end of the world. Where a
yeah,
lot of the
that's right.
movies like that are just so mind-numbingly stupid that I can't force myself through it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly correct. You're a guy, you're taking your lady out to see a chick flick, and you can enjoy a John Hughes chick flick. That's the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that I think it was called Drive, the one that had the who's the guy that got in trouble for supposedly having sex with like a 14-year-old guy, the gay dude?
Kevin
Kevin
Spacey?
Spacey. There, boom. See, all I had to do was sex with a gay guy, and you knew it. Perfect. Kevin Spacey's in it. It's got some dude who doesn't really talk much. He's got headphones all the time. I think it's called Drive. But it's if it's not John Hughes, it's someone copying John Hughes. It was really good. I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. It was well made, and this is important to the topic because we're going to get into the construction of movies here momentarily. But I'm talking about board games right now. Now, this right
Mm.
here is called Above and Below, and this other one I have here for you is called Near and Far. These two are definitely connected, and he's got a bunch of other games, and they all work really well. They feel great. They're fun. Now, Above and Below is kind of interesting. Basically what you're doing, you see here on the left, it says encounter book, right? And then it's got the box and it's got the rule book and it's got all these pieces. Basically, it's a resource collecting game, and you're building stuff like houses, and you're building up your little village, each player. So it's kind of a standard resource management builder, Sim City on a table type of thing, right? But it's got that's the above part. The below ground part, you're actually going on an adventure to help collect resources to get some of the harder resources to get. But what happens is, when you go, you kind of draw these cards, and the card gives you a page in this big old huge binder book you see here on the left, and you read it out and you make choices. It's like a choose your own adventure, right? And then you have to make certain rolls, and you have to have built up certain amount of statistics to succeed or not. So you kind of gambling whether you can do it or not to get those resources. It's a lot of fun because it's well written, and there's a different story that develops every time. I play this game a bunch with my family, and they really enjoy it. And I know I haven't seen every entry in the book. There's so many. It's a big, huge book. It's clever storytelling, and there are others. Aladdin is another game like this. It came out 20 years ago that did something similar, but it's a lot of fun. Now this one here, Near and Far, he's taken the same kind of book, the binder, but now you got pages, map pages on it, and you for each scenario you go to a different page and you set up the map with all little cities and resources and monsters and stuff like that, and you have your character. You're going around and you're basically dungeon delving, right? And it has a above and below aspect too. It's a continuation. It's really well done. These games are really fun, and I'm just suggesting that I have yet to seen a Ryan Lochte game that isn't really well done and fine. It is an indie board game, but I suggest it. Just like old John Hughes, it's you never go wrong. I mean, they're all solid flicks, whether it's your thing or not. Yeah. That's what I got to say about it. I see that. Yeah, you talk about Baby Driver. I am talking about Baby Driver. I don't know
You
if
know, I don't
that's
think I've ever seen Baby Driver. I've
you
heard it's really good.
should. It's well made. I don't know if it is a John Hughes movie, but it feels like it is. It feels very much like John Hughes, but it's a John Hughes action flick. Like Ferris Bueller's Day Off is John Hughes too, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
believe
That's
so.
which is an epic flick. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
But yeah, definitely go check those out, and check these out. I'm always trying to, introduce new board games to and show. You know how much it frustrates me, Thundero, that every time I turn on the TV or hear, well, not TV, you know what I mean, the internet, and see
Hmm.
someone like Joe Rogan or just some, Bill Maher or whatever these people talking, and they get into board game stuff, and it always comes down to Monopoly, Sorry, Mousetrap. It's like Jesus, dude.
They just simply don't know what they don't know, Chester. That's all.
They don't. Although I did see a little bit of news in the Monopoly world the other day. Now they
Uh-oh.
have Monopoly Socialism, and it made me
Oh,
laugh. Yeah.
oh yeah. So is their bread lines and
Well, bread lines
is
are good,
everybody's
according to Bernie Sanders.
power getting shut off?
Right, right. But no, of course, the funny thing, the ironic aspect of this coming out of Hasbro, it's once again something that we've been complaining about for a couple years here. People not doing their due diligence. I don't even know if people understand what the word due diligence means anymore. I think it's been
No.
lost from the vocabulary. I really do.
Yeah,
Um,
I would agree with you.
and the simple fact of the matter is, if you know anything about Monopoly and you understand it was created by a lady whose intention was because she was a communist, she was a socialist, a Marxist actually at that time would have been a more
Hmm.
appropriate word, and she was railing against capitalism, and the game was created to show the evils of capitalism. The problem is all the capitalists loved it,
Yeah, they're
right?
like, yes, cool, it's fun.
So
Take over the world.
Right. So the original actual Monopoly game that pretty much everyone here listening has played is a socialist game, actually.
Hmm. Hmm. And capitalism came in and said, you know what? We can make money off this.
We can.
And they have been for 100 years now or more. I think it's over 100 years
Over
actually.
100 years, well over
Yeah.
130 years, I think.
Oh
But
my gosh.
yeah, and but how ironic that people at Hasbro can't even do their own homework and understand that, that's definitely a dope. That's a Homer moment, dude. Right? It's so sad. It's so sad. This is an indie board game. If I hadn't said that already, Lorenzo, but go check it out. Ryan Lockett. I think they even have his name written here somewhere. There it is, right there. Ryan Lockett. Really good game creator. And I
Hmm.
think the next few weeks here with Night Owls, I am going to be introducing creators more than the game they created, because there are some superstars in the board gaming world who are really good at what they do, and let's celebrate them a little bit. And although I'm showing you these two, which I think these are the perfect examples of a Ryan Lockett game, he's made a whole bunch of them, and they're all good. Kind of like John Hughes, they're all good. Yeah,
Indeed.
indeed. All right, let's move on from that. All right, now I had a movie weekend. Thundero. Sounds like you did
Uh-oh.
too, and a couple people in the chat. It was my wife's birthday this weekend, so I made sure I didn't do anything. I kind of cut the work off and I stayed home. Well, we went out actually as well, but spent the weekend with the wife, and we watched 3 movies this weekend, dude. 3.
Hmm.
Yeah. How rare is that? We caught
Trace.
caught up a little bit. Yeah. The Art of Due Diligence by Chester Busby, coming to bookstores near you. Dude, I should write it. I should, because of what the hell's going wrong with the world today. But we're not talking about that, Jimmy. We're talking about movies. Now, I watched Tenet. Okay. I also saw this movie because you guys keep telling me, "Oh, it's a good movie, Chester." So I went and watched a Bumblebee. And then I watched Godzilla vs Kong. So, what would you like to talk about first?
Well, let's talk about Bumblebee because I've never seen it and I have no interest in it. Especially now that I see that John Cena's in it, I really have no interest in it.
He plays a minor part. It's no big deal. He's there for simply the draw. White birthday and Manny birthday is Chester married to Manny. No, but we did make that connection a couple of years ago, though. Actually, Jimmy. Yeah, no, same time. But yeah, no, when the wife is, she had a new birthday and she inverts the birthday years now. That's how it was. She was 29 forever. Now she's just inverting them, so it's okay.
Well,
Uh,
eventually those numbers might get big enough that might not
It
that
won't
might not
work.
work
It
anymore.
won't work. Yeah, she'll come up with a new plan, I am sure. But anyway, Bumblebee. I feel like this this is written by a lady. And that's all well and good. There's plenty of great movies written by ladies, and directed by ladies, and acted by ladies, and all that stuff. However, I had a very strong feeling during the making, during watching it, that it was that the lady who wrote it or who rewrote it. I don't know the history of it, right? It was initially going to be a boy in the role, like a young, man just turning 18, or 16. Of
Hmm.
course, they wanted to be 16 is the feel. But I felt that was originally that way, and then they adjusted it. But I don't know what. Okay, let me say this: it's the best Transformer movie they ever made, easily,
Oh my.
no
Oh
question.
my.
Yeah, because those movies suck major balls. They're
Yeah, they're
really
not good
dumb.
movies.
They're really, really dumb. And they make lots of money. So what do I know? But this is what I would consider to be a normal movie, as I expect Hollywood to make them. How's that? It's a
Hmm.
5, a traditional 5, meaning
Hmm.
as it should be. Normal movie making. Now the problem is we ain't got that anymore, dude. We get a lot of crap. We get a
Correct.
lot of crap. So this movie in modern rating would be more like a 7, I guess,
Hmm.
comparatively. But from my point of view, in the traditional, all those great movies we grew up with, it's a 5, and it's fine. It's entertaining. It's certainly the best Transformer movie. I think I don't know who this girl is, but she did a good job. But there's a little bit of feminism in it. I mean, she's not pretty intentionally. They chose a girl who wasn't. Of course, you can't have pretty girl anymore. You can't have a
No.
white person with a white person, so there's got to be some color, usually black, in there, and they did that. She's also a woman hero, so she can't fall in love. Can't have none of that, right?
Hmm.
So it has those kind of tropes, but they're just whispered at you, and I guess you just have to accept it these days. But other than those little niggling points that I would rip out of it, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, yeah, I can't give any more than that, Thunder. That's all I can
Hmm.
give it. Everybody in here said, "This is a great movie." You can go to hell.
I've never seen it, so I have absolutely no opinion on it. The Transformers movies are mediocre at best as far as films. But for a movie that you just can just, if you just want to watch pretty things on the screen, some of them are fine with that. Or if
Yeah.
you just want something on in the background while you do something else because it's so dumb you don't have to pay attention to it, they're great for that. Uh, but other than that, they're not good films at all. See, I make the distinction between a movie and a film. I think a film is more artistic. It's actually, quality. It's something that could pull in an Oscar if the Oscars weren't so politicized. Something of actual high caliber cinematography. Whereas
Well,
a movie is just a
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just
that's
on.
yeah, and that's where I put this. However, the Transformer movies normally are equivalent to taking a retard, throwing them into a dynamite pit filled a pit filled with dynamite and a lighter in their hand. That's basically the logic that's going on with a normal Transformer movie. This is just a normal movie. There are some good points. One of them being the fact that because they're just focusing on Bumblebee, they can develop him a lot more. And he
Mm,
does lots of little half transformations, adjusting transformations. It really shows off the transformer aspect a lot more, and
mm.
that's a good thing. Yeah, I don't really have much to complain about. It's a solid Hollywood movie. John Cena's hardly in it. He salutes America, America,
America.
America, and
I will give
I'm
Cena
okay
this.
with that.
He is a very
Oh,
patriotic
he
guy.
loves America. Yes, he does.
Genuinely, yeah.
Yeah.
That's about all I'll give him, though. That's about as far as I go with praise for Jonathan Cena.
Well, it's
Um,
wrestling, dude. You're chasing the dollar, and he's done it really
yeah, yeah,
successfully. So.
yeah, and screwed over the whole business for the next decade. Good job, John. Anyway, Bumblebee. I've never seen it. Like I said, I do like Bumblebee as a character, but my big problem with him is everybody likes him as a character,
Yeah,
so
they
he
should.
became annoying because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
knew that.
yeah,
Yeah, and so I don't know if this movie's like that because I haven't seen it, but that's it. Just kind of, I was just like, nah, I'm not interested because it was like when Harley Quinn got really popular, right? All of a sudden, she had to be everywhere. It was just that kind of flavor of the month thing, and I'm just that doesn't interest me usually.
yeah.
Depending on the character, that usually doesn't interest me.
Yeah, no, and you're right. And the thing with this, going off with being said in the chat, I wouldn't go to I would if I went to the movie theater and paid, what do you pay 20? I pay $20 a person just to get a ticket.
Jeez.
But that's Japan. I wouldn't be thrilled. Let's put it that I don't know if I'd be angry. I'd be like, "Phew, more wasted money." But if I bought it at the video store, I would
Yeah,
be pleased. I would be. So
That's one of the big problems with the movie industry is that every movie's priced basically the same to go see at the theater,
yeah,
and that's ridiculous. That's just utterly preposterous. There's absolutely no reason, there's nobody who believes that the Transformers movies are of the same caliber as, say, Joker, right? They're just not. And there's just this standardized pricing that a studio or a theater will do,
yeah,
um, and I hate that personally. It's one of the reasons why before the theaters all had to shut down, I would usually only go during matinees or during they would have, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, they would have it for $5 a ticket.
yeah.
I'd go that. Other than that, I wouldn't go because I'm not going to pay $12 or whatever it is for a movie that sucks. But I'll pay five
Right.
bucks for a sucky movie. Sure.
And because of what's going on with Hollywood and the whole nonsense politics of this the lockdown crap in certain areas, I bet you movie theaters are more fun right now than they've ever been. because they're really trying to get your dollar. It's that whole free market thing. It has an amazing effect, you know.
You
Try.
can do right now. You can go to the theaters around here and rent out an entire theater for like $150 for for like 3 hours.
Oh,
So if you
nice.
have a whole bunch of people, you could just $150, boom, you're in.
That's
Um,
nice, dude.
yeah, because with the COVID restrictions and everything, they have to have a whole bunch of the rows locked off anyway. So in order to even make any money, they have to come up with new strategies, and that was one of them around here. I think it's like
Kager,
$149.
Kager.
Yeah,
Ah, that's what I think.
some of them used to have beer in them.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
The
true.
ones that are open around here, they don't anymore. But we had a huge one, a big like 24 cinemas or screens in it one that closed down a few years ago because they just replaced it with smaller, more localized ones.
Yeah.
And that one used to have a little bar in it. You could go buy a beer and watch a movie with it.
Oh, and I used to be able to get beer when I was younger too, depending on the theater. Let's see. Arlene says my fella says the Godzilla movie sucked. Don't push me. I'm getting there, Arlene. Okay. I may or may not agree with him. I get there in a minute. Combo Bob says the beginning of Cybertron is the best part of the film. After that, it's vanilla as hell. It is, but that's the problem. We have so many bad movies these days. I'm happy to take vanilla because
Yeah,
it's a well-made movie. It's constructed correctly. The acting is solid. It's written properly. There's a story. The other Transformer
yeah.
movies don't have anything like that. So it's fine. It's kind of a you take your family to a movie on the weekend and have fun. It's perfect for that. It is, and
Which is probably all they intended to do. That was the
yeah,
mark they went for, and they hit it. That's what matters to them, right? And
yeah,
obviously, if they make money, but as far as the production staff, largely to them, when they're making the movie, especially, they know where they're going. They know they're not making the next cinema masterpiece,
right.
so they're not even trying to make the next cinema masterpiece. They're just trying to make something relatively competent that you can go and have fun at the movies with. I have
And
no
they
problem with that.
and they did that. So good on them for
Yeah,
that. And talking about the beginning of Cybertron and thing, I don't know if this was a budget issue. I prefer to look at it differently. But in the beginning, where they had the war on Cybertron, it was much more CG, cartoony almost, leaning in the CG. And of course, when it went to Earth, it became much more clean. Because they only had one transformer to deal with. I don't know if they did that for budgetary reasons or there was just a wink to the original cartoon. I'm going to lean with winking toward the original cartoon because I think that it was kind of cool if you look at it like that.
yeah.
It was
Well,
fun.
that's the problem, right? We all would love a Transformers movie that's actually a Transformers movie, but it'd just be so expensive to make. To have CGI the entire time in a 2 hour and a half film like that, it would have to be a guaranteed $1 billion hit before they would do it.
Right. Right.
And they're not, unfortunately. They make good money, but they don't make that much money. Not
No.
guaranteed, especially.
And
So you'll never, or probably, unfortunately, unless somebody finds a way to do that a lot cheaper and make it look good, probably never get one in a full budget, full screen style movie. Maybe an animated one, but not a live action one or
yeah,
live
well,
action.
they've kind of lost their way. I have a feeling. But
Yep.
the fight scenes in this are with Bumblebee are really well done, and that's one of the complaints about the Transformer movies. You can't see anything. It's this cut, 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 go, 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 go. Right. In this,
Yep.
there's some really good fight scenes actually. So yeah, I'd recommend it. I recommend it. Like I said, there's a little bit of the SJW in it, but it's very minor,
Mhm.
I would not let that deter you, because it's fun enough movie. Let me continue with the chat before I move on. Bumblebee was nice, but I wouldn't pay to see. Yeah, I agree, Arlene. Jiminy says I am just mad they replaced Chester with John Cena. You should be. You should be. Roger says, I like the Transformer movie. It took my eye a bit to adjust to the Transformers, but when they did, yeah, I like them. Oh, the problem with those movies is they have no story whatsoever. They're just confusing nonsense. I guess they make sense in Michael Bay's drug-addled mind, I guess. Kids like Bumblebee. I bet you they do. Yo, I'm late. What's happening? Nothing, Dave. We're just talking about Bumblebee. Good question. Yeah, it is a good question, Arlene. All right, let's move on. I'm going to save the Godzilla one for last, if you don't mind. Let me go
Yeah.
to Tenant
Yeah.
here. All right. Now, this fella in the middle, I don't know his name. He's the star of the movie. Junko, my wife, said that he likes to wear skirts and dress like a girl in normal life, so that makes a lot of sense. Um, uh, uh,
I like that your wife knew that. In fact, I love that your wife knew that.
well, it's gossip. What do I know? You know, that's her department. Of course, next to him is Pattinson, and he's good in it, dude. Pattinson's real solid. He can.
Yeah,
The dude's an actor. He can act. He's a
that's my
prima donna from
one
hell, but
gleaming ray of hope that's left for the Batman movie is he is a good actor. So maybe, even with all the nonsense, they can still somehow pull a good movie out of that. We'll
yeah.
see, though.
Yeah, no, that's right, comic book Bob. John Cena does have the best line in the movie, calling out the Decepticons, literally called Decepticons. Yeah, it's very good. John's fine in the movie actually, but that movie in general is fine. It's good fun. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But here's the thing I have to say about Tenet. Have you seen this one?
I have not.
Okay. All right. I have two major complaints about this movie. Two, and it's a damn shame. This is a Christopher Nolan movie, just so you know. Christopher Nolan.
Mm.
He's people put the word legendary next to him, don't they? Yeah, a lot of times.
He's up there.
Yeah, he's
He,
up
in
there.
my humble opinion, he made the best superhero, not superhero movie ever made.
Okay, and therefore you would consider that he's competent, right? He's a professional, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know that that's true, because
Well, let me add an addendum to that.
hmm,
He's a professional when he's using somebody else's material. If
yeah,
he's using his own material or relatively original material, yeah, oof. he's he's at best okay in that case. But when
yeah,
he's doing like a franchise movie, the DC his movies are great, except for the last one. The first two are really good.
yeah. Well, let me give my two issues with the movie, and I'll start with the minor one first. This movie is so complicated and so overly written that it's conceited because it's
Oh,
nowhere near as smart and awesome as they think it is.
so Interstellar.
Yes,
What's the one with the top? What's that called? With with
Inception.
Inception.
Yeah,
So it's a Christopher Nolan movie. I
yeah,
got you.
yeah. It's incredibly conceited, and but you know, oh well, that's what you get with him, and we can that doesn't mean it won't be fun. There is a story there if you can dig underneath of it. But that's not the big problem. Here's the big problem because I remember I was asking you, he should be considered a professional at his job, right?
Mm.
The soundtrack in this movie, and I heard people complaining about this, and I thought that it must have been one moment in the movie. Dude, the soundtrack in this movie is so loud you cannot hear the dialogue hardly at all. Not just at one point, the whole damn movie.
Hmm.
It's like an amateur hour going on, dude. It's the soundtrack is just overwhelming, and I've heard a lot of people say this, and I literally figured out there must be some important moment of the movie where the soundtrack was too loud. No, it's the whole damn thing, dude. And I don't understand how you do that. I mean, did
Well, it'd
Nolan
have to be
not watch
intentional.
the movie?
I mean, it would have to be intentional, right? Because
Why
of
would you
course,
want to piss off your movie watchers like that?
hey, ask Disney, ask every single major studio because they've been on a roll the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's a major mistake. I mean, if you the conceited aspect, oh well, that's just Nolan's storytelling style. So you have to either like it or you don't like it or you accept it. But the real killer of this movie is the soundtrack, and I understand why it's doing better internationally than in America. America, this thing bombed like hell, but internationally, it's got a little love, and the reason is because they're all reading the subtitles, so they know what's going on, right?
Eh,
I mean, you have to focus so much on listening to what they're saying that the movie literally frustrates you, literally.
mm.
It's not good. The chat has something to yell at me about, I'm sure.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to give any spoilers at all, Dave. Don't worry about it. Come Bob Pattinson's a good actor. He just chose a shit franchise to be part of. Oh, he's a prima donna. That's the problem. Um, I think the main character is Denzel Washington's son. Cool. Well, he sounds like he's a fairy though. So you know. Roger says, Chester, you're upset because the story is not about Batman turning trans. That's why you're upset. Fair enough, Roger. Fair enough. We got Captain Kennedy in here, who I love very much. The Prestige is my favorite Nolan movie. Dude, I would agree. The Prestige is a very, very good movie. Pretentious as hell, but very good. Dave says, dare to believe you can survive. You hold the future in your hands. That sounds like an 80s, motivational music video. That's what it sounds like. It's one
Sounds
of
like
those.
bad pop music to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, I'm sure. That's right. Now, going back here to, I don't have anything else to say about Tenet. Missed opportunity. I think it could have been a fun movie. It thinks it's over. It overcomplicates itself because it thinks it's so sophisticated when it's really
Mm.
not. It's a basic concept. You if you travel through time, you have to kind of travel backwards. That's it. Finished. Next, moving on to the Bumblebee thing, though, the soundtrack. Since it was mentioned over here, I hated the soundtrack with a passion. My wife loved it though, because it's '80s pop crap, but it's perfect for the time. This
Mm-hmm.
movie is actually a correct period piece. Unlike a lot of them we see where they tell us, "Oh, it's in the '70s. Oh, it's in the '80s." No, no, no. This was correctly framed. It's correct. And I just can't stand '80s pop music. That's all. My wife loved it though. It's got crap like the Smiths and Flock of Seagulls and all that kind of nonsense, right?
Mm.
It's a chick flick. It is a chick flick in that respect. And the only other thing I have to say is the woman they found to be her mom. I think you know how people have dwarfism,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a thing. I feel like this is a woman that has half dwarfism, like half. She's literally the size of a 10-year-old.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was very weird and creepy every time she was on screen. I don't know why they chose that actress. She's too little to exist. So it was very bizarre. And I live in Japan land. So it was disconcerting every time you saw her. But anyway, I'm done with that. Go watch Bumblebee. It's fun. Tenet. Don't waste your time. Don't if you haven't seen it, don't waste your time because you can't understand the movie. And if you force yourself to watch it, then make sure you put subtitles on because the soundtrack. It's just so unprofessional, dude. So incredibly
Mm-hmm.
unprofessional. I would say the acting's good though. You know. And then oh god, okay. I'm gonna go last here. I'm gonna let the
Uh-oh.
Thundero start.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
Chester, I have a feeling we disagree. I liked Godzilla vs. Kong a lot. And the reason I liked it is because I'm biased as all hell, and that's all I'll say to avoid spoilers. But I'm biased as all hell, so I did like it. The things I didn't like were so insignificant to why I'm there watching that movie to me that I don't care about them. So, one of the things that this movie does, very similar to the last movie, is obviously there is a human element to it. But because Kong's in this movie, one of the things I think they did very well is they they humanize Kong. And Kong is kind of the one who drives the narrative forward, at least during the fights. And I like that. And I think the director did that intentionally, at least he said he did, because if they do make more, which they very well could, because this movie's made almost 300 million in its opening weekend worldwide, um, he wants to focus more on the monsters and less, if not any, on the humans,
Yeah.
which is what everybody wants, right? That's what we want. We want to see that happen. So he even said that. He said he thinks we could probably focus on the monsters now. We don't have to have as much of a human story. And one of the things he said in this interview he gave, like release. Now this could just be him trying to spin, marketing. Could all be that. But one of the things he said is something directors don't say anymore. And he said we want to listen to the audience, what works and what doesn't, and do that. What an amazing concept, right?
Hmm.
What a crazy idea. How about just play to the audience you have, and if that more people come, fantastic.
Yeah, there's too
That's
many.
what they.
There's way too much human shit in it, dude. Way too much.
Yeah, there is, but I don't care. The reason why I don't care is because it's completely irrelevant. You could literally edit this movie and edit all of it out, and the movie would just about flow the exact same.
Yeah, well, and that's my suggestion, Thundero. Coming up in the next days, if not weeks, you're going to see a just kaiju cut action on YouTube somewhere. Just wait for that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the fight scenes are fantastic. They don't do anything too crazy except for one part where Godzilla does something that's completely impossible. But hey, it's Godzilla; he's completely impossible, so I don't
Yeah.
care.
Oh, there's a lot of that.
The
Yeah.
yeah the the thing I'm not going to spoil that happens near the end. They shouldn't have done it that way. The way they should have done that is they have other titans that they're kaiju's that they're calling out there that we saw at the end of King of the Monsters. Quite a lot of them that are very much alive and very much
Are they?
doing things in the world.
That's
Well, we
not what they.
assume.
That's not what they said in the movie, though.
Well, no, they didn't say he killed him. They said he
Uh,
defeated him.
no,
There's a
that's
difference.
not what they said.
Yes, huh? They said he defeated him.
No, no, no.
I'm telling you, I watched it. I watched it at the beginning. But regardless, let's say they are. Let's say they are alive. They could have easily had, that twist involve them sooner instead of just saving it for the end because I think everybody in the world kind of knew what was coming. So the other thing that the movie didn't do that a lot of modern movies are doing is it didn't try to subvert your expectations just for the sake of it.
No,
It
that's
did.
true. That
It
is true.
gave us exactly what it said it was going to
Yeah.
give us. And yeah, there's a lot of human stuff, but the way I see them is they're the commercials. They're the referees at the football game, right? That's all they are to me. I'm not there for them. I literally while they during one of their scenes got up, went to the concessions, took a piss, didn't care. Came back, they were still talking. I was like, all right, didn't miss anything because I am not there for them. I'm there
Yeah.
for Godzilla,
Yeah.
and surprisingly, I didn't think I would be. I was there for Kong at the end. I was rooting for him a little bit because they did a good job humanizing him. They made him
They did.
sympathetic,
Yeah, they did.
and that's what the movie needs because Godzilla can't be sympathetic because he's Godzilla. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
there are only 4 kaiju fights in the movie.
Yes.
It's just 4. And like I said, cut them out, watch them because they'll show up on YouTube. They're fun. Yeah, they're fun. I
Yeah.
got a lot more to say about it than he does. I under the conceit of his narrow viewing opinion, I will
Yes.
agree. How's that?
It
That
did what I
that was
wanted
a
it to do.
sideways slap in the face, but just ignore it.
I know.
Yeah.
I did what I wanted it to do. I was there for one thing. I was there to watch kaiju's do awesome stuff, and then the twist that I knew was coming. I was there to see that too, and all of it was great. You take the last 30 minutes of that movie, cut out about 30 minutes and 40 minutes in the middle of it there, where the people are doing stuff, and just the other 2 fights or other 3 fights.
Yeah.
That's all I'm there for. I don't care about everything. They could have had everybody come dancing out in like rainbows and have a gay pride parade, and I'd been like, I don't care. I'm here for guys, especially if Godzilla marched through that thing and destroyed it. I'm here for that. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I don't care. To me, like I said, the human part of it, they're the referees at the football game. As long as it's not supremely egregious and they're constantly in my face when the action's happening, I don't really care what they do. And the problem the last movie had,
yeah, that was an improvement.
Yeah, is they kept cutting back to the humans.
They did.
I don't do that. I don't want to see that.
Yeah. Well, before I give my opinion, let me go through the chat because there's a lot of here, so let me catch up. Is Tenet better than Monster Hunter? Everything is better than Monster Hunter. Captain Canada, the only thing that took me out of the Bumblebee was the military didn't look 80s. They looked like the modern military. That's true, but in general, I think they got the period stuff fairly well done. Migren La King says, to know that flock of seagulls triggers Chester's makes me smile. Aw. Chester was rocking the flock of seagulls hair. Don't let it fool you. No, it wasn't. I actually looked like the non-George Michael member of Wham. Yes. It was fun. Poor Kong though, the underdog. I actually liked the way they worked it out and the way it went. It went the way it should have went in that
Yeah,
respect. But I'm not going to spoil anything. Joe says mammal versus reptile, so we have the to root for Kong. Fair enough. The human story was subtle, but then there the apex predator, Titan or man. Fair enough. Captain Canada says the Stranger Things girls parts was not needed. Not at all. You should just cut it right out of the
correct.
movie. I'm
Yeah,
sure someone will do the brown cutout version. I'm sure because you really don't need it. Does he slide on his tail? No, he should have because that's how ridiculous this movie was. Joe says, "Yeah, that's the whole subplot. Could have been cut and wouldn't change things. True, but she was probably there for the kiddie audience for the kid POV. She's not a kid anymore, dude. Warm blooded versus cold blooded. Fair enough. Joe's going on. He says, if you watch Godzilla versus Kong and 101 back to back and see the same theme, there can be only one apex predator. Exact phrase used in both. True. Devilish Boardman. Boredom. I was about to be made. And then I
I
remembered
think you
Monster
meant
Hunter
mad.
had a movie. Now I'm sad. Yeah, you should be. You should be, Devlin. All right. Let me give my opinion.
Rip it apart.
I'm going
Oh
to.
wait, before you rip it apart, there is one other thing. This isn't really a spoiler, but there's a conspiracy theorist character in there,
Yeah.
and the conspiracy theorist character is actually somehow not made out to be a complete villain, at least like or an idiot, really, even though he's
Eh,
dumb. But he's not made out to be a complete joke. And there's a part in there which they're not supposed to do in Hollywood, and I'm shocked it got through any kind of censorship, where they're talking about fluoride, and the main, I guess she's the main human character, the Stranger Things girl, validates his suspicions with fluoride. That's not something they do anymore in Hollywood. I just want everybody to understand
that's fair.
they're not allowed to touch conspiratorial stuff like that. And the fact that they did, it just blew my mind. I went, "What?
Well,
You're not allowed." I even said this in the theater. My wife said they're not allowed to do that in a movie anymore,
now we got
but they
four
did it.
movies. They did. It's true. We got four movies now in this MonsterVerse, right?
Hmm.
And all of them have been directed by unknowns, people that have had one-hit wonders. Like this movie was directed by a guy who created a movie called The Guest. He also did VHS and the remake of Blair Witch and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And but they're all being made by these one-hit wonder guys who have no success. So I'm surprised we've gotten as good as we've gotten. To be fair, all right.
Yeah.
But if we break them down, we look at the first movie. Now, people complain mainly because they didn't see Godzilla enough. Fair enough. But that was an actually really well made cinematic movie. It was an actual movie. Well done, right? If you want to argue that it's not a great Godzilla movie, okay, I'll take that. But it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Uh, the Kong Skull Island um, was very similar to this one, actually, in some ways. But I think it was strung together. It's probably the best fun little monster movie they've made so far because it doesn't have any of the outside nonsense. It's just a monster movie, and it does it well. So that's interesting that that's true. The second Godzilla versus King of the Monsters had some the human stuff was dumb, and it wasn't particularly annoying. It was just dumb. But the
Yeah.
monster stuff was epic. And now I understand that they did cut away a lot to the human stuff, which sucked. It was always snow or some water or something in your vision, so it was not as clear as this was. However, the monster combat in Godzilla King of Monsters was impactful. It moved you. Seeing Godzilla going against King Ghidorah was badass, dude. It was
Hmm.
badass. It moved you. Now the rest of the shit in the movie, they literally just cut it out, just like in this movie. But the monster fighting, I think, was more impactful than this. I feel. What do you think about that?
Um, I think that's mainly down to probably yeah, but I think that's mainly down to the fact that Ghidorah is a better villain for
Yep.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just this is what it is. I mean, Kong's not a villain, so he doesn't fight him like a villain. And the surprise, we knew what he was there to do. and he did it
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah,
So
and we're not going to give any spoilers on any of that. There's no need. I mean,
yeah,
the kaiju fighting stuff is fine. I don't think
yeah,
it's as impactful as the King of Monsters one, but it's much clearer. They don't cut away to the stupid human shit. You get the fight from beginning to end.
hmm,
That's all good. So there's no complaint. We agree, 100%. That's good.
yep,
Now let me get into what was bad. All right. Now, this like I said, the director was a one hit wonder guy, and understand this movie was written by five people. Five people
jeez,
wrote this script, and you can tell. Yeah. And here's the thing: you got the brown girl, the Stranger Things girl,
yep,
um, and at the end of the last movie, which spoilers, I guess, but at the end of the last movie, um, she was complicit in her mother's genocidal mania, right?
hmm,
Her mother wanted to, throw us all back to caveman status because humans, and she's the ultimate spazzed out tree hugger, is what her mother is.
eco fascists.
Eco fascist. And she was complicit because she was with her and she agreed. Right? Now, in the end,
Yeah,
she kind of did the right thing, and they kind of gave her a redemption arc. But in this movie, you would assume that her character arc would have been a little bit backed up. Maybe she learned a lesson. Oh no, she learned shit. She is the most annoying little nasty bitch you've ever seen, and it's like, and I don't blame the brown girl. It's not her fault, dude. I mean, she's just doing what she's told, but she is a nasty bitch. Nasty. She's mean spirited and hateful, right? And I'm not going to tell, I'm going to spoil it. You go watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. She's a nasty little thing, right? They should, she should, and her arc was completely unnecessary. She's only in there because she's part of the series, I guess.
yeah.
All right. So I'm not going to talk any more about that, but just understand every time she's on the screen, you want her dead. It's true. She is a nasty thing. And let's get into that. Now, here's the thing. We've seen her in two movies so far, right? I still don't know her character's name. I have no clue. And that's the problem. I watched this movie and I can't tell you the name of anyone other than Nathan, who is Skarsgård's character. Now, how is it I can remember his name's Nathan, but I can't remember anybody else's name?
uh, I'd say that's a good thing. The only one I want to remember is only two is Godzilla and Kong.
Well, fair enough. And I have nothing really to say about that, other than the fact that it's just you're right. King Ghidorah is a better villain, and
Yeah.
it's not as impactful. But it's fun. I have nothing to say about the Godzilla and Kong. It's fine. I'm talking about the other stuff, and so that's unbelievable. You have the lady who I guess she works for Monarch. I suppose. They didn't really tell us, but she was at a Monarch facility, so I guess she's Monarch. And the little obviously somebody's daughter. Because the little girl they brought in, the mute or the deaf girl. Well, no, she's mute, I guess. Dumb, I guess would be the technical term. She doesn't speak. Although, and she can't hear either. So yeah, she's deaf and dumb. There you go. But the little girl they brought in to do that is clearly somebody's daughter. Clearly, because I can't remember the last time I saw a movie where you had an actress or an actor on screen that had literally zero emotion. I can't remember the last time. I mean, it was shocking, and I know it's a little kid, but they find little kids that are overly emotional and annoying, and she's not that, so that's a good thing. But I mean, my God, there was no emotion. Even when tears are coming down her face, there's no emotion. And I was shocked by that, dude. I didn't understand how it's got to be somebody's daughter. It has to be somebody's daughter.
Well, it could be, or it could be the whole purpose was to make them, like you said, not annoying.
Well,
Make
she
her not
wasn't
annoying.
that. That's a good
No,
point.
I actually liked the character. I thought she was fine. But again, I'm not putting any standards on the humans. I don't care
Yeah,
about. Remember the old Godzilla movies? How bad the acting was from the humans.
and the
I
little
don't
annoying
care.
kids. Yes, I do
Yeah, I
remember.
don't
Yeah.
care. I just want it just be relatively competent enough to where you can put the monsters where they need to be to do big smashes. And that's what they did.
Fair
And then they
enough.
got out of the way.
Um,
That's all I asked for.
yeah, and do keep in mind we're because we don't want to give spoilers. We're not talking about any of the absolute ridiculous thought processes done to these battles and the absolute insane things that don't make any sense at all that are happening every 5 seconds. Yeah, we're not talking
Mhm.
about that. But understand that it's somebody was this was I saw Red Letter Media's review of this, and Mike had put down that this was written by a child, and it was five of them in fact. Anyway, I'm not going to knock on the little girl so much. I just because she wasn't annoying, so that's good enough, right? I just really couldn't believe how there's the absolute lack of emotion. It was surreal in a way. But I
Mm.
don't really have much to say about her. She's there. She served her purpose. But the lady, who's the lady? What's her name? Does she work for Monarch? Why is she there? I have no idea. What purpose did she serve? I don't know. I have no idea. I could have rewritten this movie 1,000 times better in 5 minutes. That's not good, dude. That is not good.
I will be right back. Actually, my wife needs me for something.
All
Yeah.
right, no problem. I have ranting to do. All right, so that's that. The Skarsgård character, he's the one from True Blood. He played Eric, the Northman, right? He's fine. Yeah, no problem. Yes, I understand she's Sophia Coppola, but I don't understand what the hell she's in the movie for. I don't know who her character is. I have no clue what her name is. I assume she worked for Monarch. I don't know. That's a problem. Now the father, the Brown, the Stranger Things girl's father, he's in it like 10 seconds, a one-day shoot. He's fine. Let's see. The conquistador villain. Yeah, he's awesome, and his conquistador villain's daughter, awesome. Now there is one thing that is a recurring theme in this movie. If you didn't notice it, and of course if you go and watch it, you'll see. Women strong and powerful, men stupid. Stupid men, cowardly men, useless men. Women strong, women good. Ugh. Yeah, that's a lot of that, dude. A lot of that. The good thing is, in the kaiju fights, we don't really care because as you shouldn't. But there's a lot of this women good, men bad thing. There's a lot of that. And the various characters are. It's just a train wreck, dude. It's an absolute train wreck when it comes to the human aspect. It's one of the worst, stupidest things I've ever seen. Um, the kaiju fighting is good, but can you really separate the two? I don't know. Let me see what the chat
Yes.
has to say.
By the way, I'm
Um,
back.
no, well,
Yes.
good. Well, welcome back. But I'm just saying, dude,
The fact
absolute
here's the
train wreck.
problem. Here's the problem, Chester. You're going there for the wrong reason.
No, I
If
didn't.
you're looking for a good story, why are you watching a Godzilla movie? Has any Godzilla movie besides the first one ever had a good story?
No, no,
Exactly.
no. And I don't have a problem with that aspect. I just can't believe how inane the setup for the human acting and the human part of it. It's so inane. It's literally the perfect word.
Yeah,
I don't know. Let me see what the chat has
that's
to
what.
say.
But that's the thing, though. I wanted it to be that because I just want it out of the way. And if they focus too much on it and they try and write a great script with great dialogue and a good story arc for them, we're going to get way too much of it, and I'm not going to get to see Godzilla and Kong smash.
Yeah,
And that's what I
that's
want to
true.
see.
And that's what the problem with the first movie was. It's a really good movie, but
Yes.
it's not a great Godzilla movie. Joe Maroney says the conspiracy theories character reminds me of the Art Bell conspiracy theories character from Eight-Legged Freaks. Well, that was a much better version of it, I would think. But I agree with Thundaro. He was fine. He was the one of the least annoying. You do
Yeah.
notice I haven't mentioned the little fat English boy who's going to American
Well, don't
school,
worry. The movie
Indian.
basically didn't mention him either.
No,
Mention him
well,
either.
well, the thing, and he's the kid from the Deadpool 2, too, right?
Yeah.
He's the same fat kid. But here's the thing. Um, he was only in the movie to be a kicking bag. He was a laugh. He was a joke. He was horribly treated by everybody, particularly the brown girl. It's a sad state of affairs, dude. Sad state of affairs. He was put in there to represent stupid mandom. and everybody. The men were just dumb, villainous, dumb, stupid men, women good. It was a lot of that, dude. And whatever. At least we got to see Kong and Godzilla go at it, and boy, did they go at it. Poor
Oh yeah,
Hong Kong. My wife kept saying Hong Kong Kwaiso, Hong Kong Kwaiso.
yeah. Hong Kong didn't make it. Hey, maybe that was a meta commentary, and we
Yeah,
just didn't
right.
catch it.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we could get into that. The fact that no one in the world, none of these world leaders that keep talking about all this stupid shit, no one did anything to help Hong Kong. Nobody.
not
And
even
no one's
not
doing
even
anything
Donald
to help
John.
Myanmar either.
Nope.
Bastards.
They're all just bending the knee,
They're full of
and
shit.
we're all going to pay the price for it. Whole
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. I can't believe they abandoned Hong Kong like that. It's disgusting. Don't get me on that, Thundero.
Maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe it was a meta commentary
Yeah, it
because
might have
I
been.
have a sneaky suspicion that whoever makes these movies isn't really on the woke train.
No, I
Because
get that
none of them
feeling
have
too.
had
Yeah.
anything super woke. They've had some tropes like women good, men bad, but that's been going on for 45 years in Hollywood. So if
Right.
this movie puts you over the edge, I don't know what you've been watching.
Well,
Um,
it didn't push me over the edge. I agree with you 100%. I think, in particular, this movie is laughing at that whole trope. I really
yeah,
do, because it is over the top, and I agree with you. I think this movie is making is sideways shading the whole
yes,
"I am woman, hear me roar." I agree
right.
with you. I do.
And also the last movie, King of the Monsters, did did that in reverse as well, whereas the bad guy ended up being a female. I mean, obviously in King Ghidorah, but of the humans, and she was a just straight up terrible person. There's no getting around. Now they tried to give her some redemption at the end, but she still got her comeuppance, so redeemed, I guess. Have a stomp. You're
Well,
gone. Because I think maybe whoever is, I don't know who it is. I don't know who's in the chair making the calls, or at least they're not they're probably not a conservative person, but they're not a progressive filth person, right? They're not
no, I
pushing
I
some
feel like
agenda
they're
in these
joking.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have no problem with that. That's refreshing. Like you said about Bumblebee. It's just a movie.
Yeah.
At the like
eh,
that's what it feels
As
like,
it
and that's
should be.
all I need it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree with that. So let's continue here. Comic Book Bob says, yeah, Brown's character was pointless and infuriating. Yes. People don't make it, don't matter in kaiju flicks. I agree. So stop trying to make them matter, devilish.
Yes.
Madison Russell. Oh, I have no clue what you're
That's her
talking about
character
there.
name. Yeah,
Oh,
Madison. That's the name of Billy Bobby
I
Brown.
didn't need to know that, Bob. Uh, they are there to be flee or be crushed. I agree, Devilish. Oh, I just had a thing. It just popped. Ooh, there's a lot of chat, dude. I got to catch up. Pointless in King of the Monsters. Pointless in this one. True. The real villain was humans, of course, just like all the other nature documentaries. True. She's the Sophia Coppola of this movie. Yeah. Every man in this movie is either weak, oblivious, or evil. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, that's my point. But it's so over the top that maybe Thunder is right. This is kind of a wink, wink from the director, maybe.
Yeah, and
Um,
at the end of it, by the end of it, that almost flips a little bit because Skarsgård's character has like a sort of redemption thing
Spoilers.
going. Yeah, and
Yes.
the other one chick, I won't say who is obviously what's going to happen is obvious, gets hers too. So I think it is. I think it's whoever is behind these. I don't know if it's the director, this Wingard guy, I think is his name, or if it's one of the executive producers. Whoever's making the decisions on what goes into that movie or into the scripts is jabbing at the current
Yeah.
culture through this monster movie of all
Yeah.
things.
No, I agree. And you're talking about El Conquistador Feme. That's who you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, I know. I said she had good boobies. My wife was upset for 30
Oh,
minutes.
she was absolutely gorgeous. I don't
Yeah.
know who that chick is, but woo wee! Can we get more of her on screen,
Yeah,
please?
yeah, less
Whew.
dressed it would be better.
Oh my!
She should went into the whole combat Latino thing. You know how the Latinos or female Latinos are always combat
Yeah,
hardened.
they always got camo on and like little like
Yeah,
shirts that
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah, yeah,
green
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what we need more of that. They could have. Let's see here. Kumba Bob says they could have cut out half of the humans in this movie. They should have. Half hour in, I was annoyed at the men stupid strong women theme. Yep. But that was subverted at the end. It was, and that's what we're saying. We think there might have been some winking going on in this movie. Ask major hatred and the employees that worked for Monarch. I guess. Yeah, he became competent in the last half of the movie. Yeah. So the Nathan character subverts the stupid male trope of late a little bit. But like I said, it's the only character name I remember, and I don't know why. It is. The '90s Godzilla movie was a masterpiece of a human story in a monster movie, Thundero. All right, take that from Captain Canada.
Which one?
Just go gentle. He's Canadian. Yeah.
Does he mean the 1997 movie? Because if so,
Matthew Broderick, genius.
if you say so, you're Canadian. I understand.
Um, Dave's one I won't read. A little bit of spoiler in there. You're right. This movie wasn't on the woke train. It's covertly anti-woke. I think that kinda. They did it in the most subtle way because SGWs are stupid. They won't recognize stuff like that. Space Godzilla was really good too. Final Wars is awesome. They're just kind of going over Godzilla stuff. Tokyo SOS was good too. Um, yeah, no, that's one thing I would say. The absolute ridiculous, because you haven't heard me knocking on the ridiculous nonsense of the science fiction of this movie,
Yeah,
because it's winking at the old Godzilla movies, is what it's doing, and they were
I'm
ridiculous
surprised you
too.
haven't mentioned, and you're kind of doing it now, but there is a just straight up reference, wink, whatever you want to call it, to at one point when he's with, I'm not going to say what it happens, so no spoiler, but a gentleman puts on a visor and is doing something. That's
Yeah,
all I'll say.
yeah,
And it looked like it came right out of an old Godzilla movie,
yeah,
and
it
I was
did,
like, I like
did,
that. I
and it
like
was
your style, whoever did that.
and it was Shinsan too. He's a Japanese actor. My wife was, oh, Shinsan, you know. But
Uh-huh.
so it was good that it was an actual Japanese doing that. But yeah, no, I didn't mentioning that stuff because some people are upset about the absolute ridiculous science breaking stuff. But dude, it's a Godzilla movie.
You
Um,
mean the like 300-foot tall monsters aren't science breaking enough,
right
guys? Like,
now,
just physically, they could not exist. They just wouldn't in this
yeah,
in our
no,
planet.
they
It's
wouldn't
not
be able to
possible.
breathe. Yeah, but there is a lot of ridiculous sci-fi in this. This is completely detached itself from reality. Understand that, but that's all right. Like I said, it's winking to the old Godzilla movies. Now, I do have one negative thing to say about the kaiju stuff. I do have
Oh,
one negative, and it's the fact that pick a size, you bastards, because
yeah, they are
Kong
all
and
over.
Godzilla are all over the place in height,
Yep,
all over.
correct, completely, and just size in general. Like
Yeah.
if you've all seen the trailer, so this isn't really a spoiler where they fight on the aircraft carrier. Well, right before that, Kong's on this big ship laying down, and that he's clearly not that big.
No.
And then all of a sudden he is, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
It's stupid. And even in the same fight they had troubles with controlling it, the CG department, I guess.
Yeah,
I won't reveal who, but there's going to be some special big bad in the movie. There's a scene in that fight where Godzilla is just slightly shorter, and then a second later he's like a third the size.
yeah, yeah. I know what you're
It
talking about.
They are all over the place with the size. There's no consistency whatsoever. And it's so blatant that I noticed it amongst the chaos of the fight. That's how
Yeah,
bad it is. That's a major knock, I think. But that aside, it was fun to watch them fighting.
yes.
Very
For
clear too.
me, because of what I was looking for out of this, so it's a different grading scale than a normal film would be. I'm giving this an 8. Just because it's what I wanted. They
Yeah.
did everything I wanted them to do, by and large. They didn't try to insult my intelligence with some. We're going to give you an intelligent plot in a Godzilla movie. No, I don't want that. You could have done that in 2014 had you not killed off the only good actor in the whole movie at the beginning of it, and actually maybe built a monsterverse based on disaster kaiju movies that are good. But you didn't do that, so don't try to do it now. Just give me what you're sell me what you're selling me. Right? I'm
Yeah.
coming here to buy popcorn. I don't want a hot dog.
Yeah.
Give me the popcorn.
Yeah.
And
And
they did. So I'm happy.
yeah, I give it a 6. I mean, if you cut the
Yeah.
human stuff out, I give it a 6. But you and I are different though. You see,
Yes.
and that's fine. I prefer the original Godzilla, and
Yes.
that is a very well-made, moving,
Yeah, it's a
emotional
masterpiece.
movie. It's a freaking masterpiece, dude. And
It really
that's
is. It's
why,
the disaster movie. It has a big kaiju in it, but that was before kaiju movies were really a thing.
yeah,
And it's just so good. And it's so good that we were watching it on here and we just went silent for 10 minutes at
yes,
a time
dude,
or whatever, where we couldn't
yes,
talk because we were just pulled in to
yeah.
this old horrible special effects, but it's just gripping. And yes, and they're not I don't think anyone today is capable of making that movie.
Well, here's the
Like,
thing, though. The Bryan Cranston, the first in this remake reboot of Godzilla, American Godzilla, was very similar to that. And it was
yes.
well done. It's a really good movie. Now, I understand people saying maybe it's not a great Godzilla movie because you don't see tons of him, but for me, that was the closest I've seen to the original. It was bordering on being a masterpiece. It's so beautiful, and it's one of those movies you go back and watch it a second time, it's better.
Well, the other
Yeah,
problem with that one is they needed to pick a lane, and they eventually did.
they did. Yeah, that's true.
If they would have just stuck with Disaster Godzilla and kept Bryan Cranston alive,
Yeah, that was a
so we could have had
mistake.
a good actor,
Spoilers.
we could have got that. We could have
Yeah,
had everything we wanted there, but they didn't. So they took it to more of a movie place instead of a film. Like I said, I have that dichotomy where I put a film over here and a movie over here.
yeah,
Most stuff that comes out of Hollywood is movies. Occasionally, you'll get a good film. Um, but they decided to go the kaiju fight way, and okay, I like that too. But it's in a for me, it's a different
it is.
ballpark,
It is
right? It's a whole
very
other
different,
game.
and that needs to be
Yeah,
taken into account. I mean, the original of this reboot, I'll just call it the Bryan Cranston and Godzilla. That
yes,
was a great horror movie. It really was very, very good. But it's not
yeah,
like this. This is just a campy, out of left field, crazy, insane kaiju battle movie, and that's fine.
yeah.
That's good.
It kind of reminds me of you remember the Godzilla cartoon
Oh
that
yeah.
was on for a little while. It's kind of that level of
Tenkaichi.
intellect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
what you're going to get out of this.
yeah,
But that's okay if that's all you're looking for. That's all I was looking for. The other thing is afterwards, after I came back, and I was curious if there was any plans, what the plans were, because this is supposed to be the last one, unless it's really successful. That's what they've said. And so if this is the last one, I was just curious if, the director had said anything or whatever. So I want to actually read his interview he gave to IGN. I want to read his responses. I don't want to read the whole thing.
yeah.
And what he said is because this is not really a spoiler, but there is no end credit scene. So if you go and watch it, you don't have to stay. Just get up and leave.
Right.
He said, I think it's 100% the right choice to not have that scene because this is the crossroads for the Monsterverse. Audiences have to vote if they want to see more of these or not. If people show up and like the movie, then there will be more. I think it's better to not box ourselves into any corners because ultimately going forward, these movies need to be calibrated by what people like about the films, not in a tired studio kind of way, but in a realistic, grounded, what are people responding to, what are they responding to kind of way. That level of just common sense is gone in Hollywood.
That's true.
It's just not there on anything big budget anyway. You're not going to get a director coming out and saying something like that. So for me, that's like, oh, okay. And then he continues. He says, if there is going to be a sequel, we're going to get less into a human storyline and more of a hyper-realistic, animated kind of vibe to these things. I think we can start leaning more into the monsters,
Yeah,
which is what we all want.
yeah. That's all exactly what we all want. I agree. If you're not going to do the Bryan Cranston style, Godzilla style, then do this style. I agree.
Yes.
And yeah, fair enough. I agree with him. And we'll see what happens with it. I don't know. It's all over the place. It's not anywhere near making enough money to get its budget back.
It
Um,
is right now. It had right now it's at about 300 million on its opening week.
it needs to
So
make
if it
400
keeps
million just to break even, dude.
if it gets over, I bet I'll put it at probably about 5.5 hundred million is where it's going to end up.
All right. So who
Um,
knows if that'll be enough? But yeah, fair enough. But
the other problem it has is it's going to get a little. I think part of the reason they released it now because everybody else is delaying their big movies, right? Is because one, they want to drive subscribers to HBO Max, which I have no idea if it did that or not. Only they know. And two, they can have the excuse of, well, it was pandemic if it doesn't make enough money. right? So they get their
Oh,
little
they
get out
always
of jail
do.
free card.
Right. Yeah.
But however, so far, all expectations, it's destroyed. All expectations that were given to it. They expected this to basically just be a big flop because of the pandemic and just the last movie didn't really do very well. But so far, it's blown all those expectations out of the water and has set the record now since the pandemic started in America. It's the biggest
Yeah,
opening
that's true.
period.
That's
So,
true. But in the end, if we want to see them make another one, they need to make money. Yeah, so they got a long way to
yes.
go. Fingers crossed. I'd love to see more. But there are a couple things here in the chat. One I can address and one I can't. I'll do the one I can't. Elephant in the Room, Hollow Earth. I'm not going to get into spoilers, dude. However, I just did kind of. But that either should have been cut out completely or it should have been more involved. I mean, okay, I'm going to leave it at that. The other one, Godzilla 97 failed for one important reason, having Kashmir instead of Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult. Fair enough. But
It's true.
it brings up music. Now, I've been complaining about this recently. And this movie's no different. The soundtrack itself, the actual soundtrack is great. It's perfect for what it needs to be. But you have a little bit of what I call the James Gunn syndrome going on in Hollywood recently. And
Mm,
because James Gunn, when he did his Guardians of the Galaxy movies, he had the perfect choice of classic rock and old music for the moment. It was perfect. It fit perfectly in those movies. But and everyone wants to get that same feel because it was so cool the way he used that music. You're not James Gunn, dude. And they keep just like in the Snyder cut, stupid choice of music. Just
yeah.
literally, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? This movie did the same thing a couple of times. The soundtrack's fine. It's not the soundtrack. It's actual music, singing songs, and it's like, huh? And it's the James Gunn syndrome. They're trying to be cool like James Gunn, and they're failing badly, dude. Epic failures.
Well,
Epic.
the other problem is they made this more of a fun popcorn movie, right? They changed the tone from the first one, the first Godzilla, completely,
Yeah,
and
yeah, they
even
did.
from Kong Island, where Kong Island was much more. It was a little bit more tongue in cheek.
Yeah, but it's a movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So they made this one much more of just a popcorn movie in that regard, and yet we still don't get just fun music. Like, where's the Godzilla theme when he shows up? Right? Just play it, have it playing in the background on a radio in a car or something when he's walking through Hong Kong. Something like that. Just stuff like that. You can lean into the ridiculousness.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that no one wants to do in Hollywood, it seems, except for a few exceptions. James Gunn actually did it pretty well
Yeah, he
in the
did.
first Guardian movie, especially. He just leaned into how silly this is, and it worked
And it
because
did.
it is silly. It's ridiculous, but just let it be. Let it
Yeah.
breathe. Let it be ridiculous.
And he introduced those just classic songs in the perfect way with
Yes.
Star Lord's Walkman and various places where the music was started and listened to. It was really well done. He did a great job, and you can see all these directors. Oh, it's so cool! I'm going to do it. It's going to be cool like that. No, no, you're uncool. You have the
The
uncool
one thing,
factor.
the one part of the music that I loved was when Godzilla first started coming around, and if you've seen the trailer, this isn't a spoiler. They think he's gone rogue, basically. So he has a remix of his original theme from like the original movie, where it's much more menacing and threatening, almost like a Jaws soundtrack.
Dun,
I
dun,
loved that. That was like, oh,
dun.
just great.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic. The guy doing the music there nailed that
Oh, the
perfectly.
soundtrack's good. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the soundtrack. I'm talking about the introduction of 70-esque music that is completely inappropriate, wrong timing, wrong choice, wrong,
Yeah.
wrong, wrong, wrong. And we're seeing a lot of Hollywood people do it because, like I said, it's the James Gunn syndrome. They're
Mhm.
trying to copy it and they're doing it poorly. It's like the spastic kid who thinks he can draw, you know?
Uh,
Oh God.
no, I like I said, I give this movie because of what my expectations are for it were, and for an 8. There were some things they could have done better, and there's some things that I know are probably unrealistic if they don't want to make a $500 million movie.
Yeah.
So I can be lenient in that regard. Because yes, I would like a movie that's only about Godzilla and Kong with humans just showing up every once in a while for not, I don't even care. Just because they have to, or
Yeah.
have the little girl. If they were going to make another one, what I would do, have the little girl grow up, do a time skip, whatever you want to call it. Have her and Kong still be friends because why wouldn't they be? And that could be like that's your human element right there, her and Kong. Everything else can be monsters,
I think
as
it
far as
should be
I'm concerned.
Godzuki.
Oh, just lean all the way into the ridiculous.
All
Let's
the
do it.
way in, baby. Anyway, all right, let's move on from this. But yeah, I think it, it's worth it just for the kaiju fights. There is a lot of winking going on at you because of the over the top "I am woman" crap, and I agree they are mocking it, and that's cool in itself. But this one, stupid, unprofessional soundtrack. It ruins the whole thing. This right here, go watch it. It's fun. This right here, it's fun if you ignore the human stuff. I'd really wait for the YouTube mashup, monster mashup, because that's all you really need from this flick.
I will
Uh,
say this for that one: if you like King of the Monsters, that you'll like this one. I think King of the Monsters is stronger just because Ghidorah is stronger, or Ghidorah, whatever his name is stronger. But I think this is still really good. It did what I wanted it to do, like I said. So I think if you like King of the Monsters, you're going to like this. So if
yeah,
you're wondering if you should go, deal with I don't know, depending where you're at, some places have ridiculous COVID restrictions in theaters. As long as you don't have to do with something too stupid, go do it. You won't. I don't think you'll regret it. It's not a movie I regret. It's definitely not a movie I regret paying for. So I'll take that because that's pretty rare nowadays.
you know what I'd like to see though? I would love to just take the monster fights, which are fine the way they are, but take the monster fights and put that the hip hop version of Go Go Godzilla, dun dun dun, that I'd love that would be badass because that song is
Yeah.
badass. Anyway, moving on. All right. Now we're going
Oh,
to take a
here it is.
poll, folks. We're here to take a poll. Are you ready?
Uh,
Okay. Go ahead.
Justice League Queer among several potential new DC series whose publication to be decided on by fan vote.
Okay, so we need to vote, basically. So we're going to take a look at our choices and see which one we like. You ready? I'm ready. I'm
Oh
definitely
no.
ready. So they're literally going to be running a full-on series with your choice, so they say. All right. So let's see what we got. Now, choice number one is Gay Justice League. I think that's all I need to say. I could read
Yeah.
it if you like, but
They
uh,
literally call it Justice League Queer.
queer, yeah, Justice League queer, yeah.
So I'm very confused now. So are straight people allowed to call it Justice League Queer? Because I thought queer was their word now. Like the N word. We're not supposed to say it if we're not one of them.
Uh-huh. I guess,
Yeah, even though it just means weird and it shouldn't be considered offensive by anybody. But
yes.
whatever.
Well, you people say I can't say the word niggly.
Right? That has nothing to do with black people at all. But it's
Yeah.
one of those things where oh, that's just offensive.
It's
It is.
offensive. But they say here 8 young queer heroes investigate a series of monstrous manifestations around the world and discover that something much more terrifying is coming. They are. Oh, they should use a U there instead of a no. That would have been perfect. Perfect. No, no.
Oh my.
Was that too deep? Was that too quick
JLK.
for you? Was that too quick? Uh,
The good definition of the JL gay. Hey, it's better than JL queer.
yeah,
My goodness,
yeah.
that almost offends me, and I'm not even sensitive like that. Like, holy cow, guys.
Well, we could vote for this one. We could vote for this one. Right. Okay. We have that one. Okay. Then we got another one here. Green Lantern's Underworld on Fire. A deadly outfit of space outlaws are raising the intergalactic underworld sector by sector under the command of a disruptive new kingpin in search of an ancient payday worth becoming the target of every powerful player in the galaxy, including Sinestro. Green Lantern's Kyle Rayner, and Kilowog. Is he still alive? I thought they killed him 3 or 4 times. Are put on the case, but while Kyle be able to do this one by the book when he finds out who's behind all of it. Well, I don't know. That sounds okay.
Yeah, I actually don't hate that idea. I don't know if they'll pull off the execution, but I don't mind a buddy cop. Green Lantern story. That sounds cool.
Yeah, just keep in mind, no matter what you vote, in the end, they're going to say who wins, and that
Yeah,
doesn't mean it's
yeah.
who you voted for, right? But this one's okay. All right, let's keep going. Etta Candy, Holiday Hero Inc. On summer break from Holiday College. Ooh, an accident grants Etta Candy her very own superpowers, taking on the new superhero mantle of Candy Stripe. Etta joins forces with Wonder Woman, Amanda Waller, and her Beta Lamboda sorority sisters to create Holiday Hero Inc., an all-girl agency sworn to protect and assist anyone in need. Woo woo! Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I do love how we've come full circle now, and they're back to they want to segregate
Yeah,
by
right,
the sexes and
right,
by the
right.
races.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I guess.
Camp Canada says so. Booster's in jail, gay, right? Probably. Yeah, he'll be the new Flash. Yeah. No would be no.
No thanks.
Amanda Waller
I'll
is a
pass.
bad guy. You do realize that Amanda Waller is a villain, right? Right. Okay. We got to have Wonder Woman. Yay. Okay. Here we go. The Brave and the Bug. Crisis on Infinite Ambush. All right, Ambush Bug must team up with some of DC's greatest heroes to survive an attack by revenge-seeking ambush bug from across the multiverse who never got to exist thanks to AB's refusal to be reputed. This is fourth wall crap. I don't know. What do you think?
Eh, no. Listen, only one character gets to be Deadpool, and it's Deadpool.
And well, to be fair, Ambush Bug was doing it before, but good enough.
Yeah, but Deadpool does it better.
He does. He does. He does. But no. Okay, you go ahead and read the next one.
Zatanna and the King of Nightmares. That's a good
Ooh.
name. Something is terribly wrong with Zatanna's powers. Before she can heal herself, she is forced to confront her worst fears in a strange new spiritual realm ruled by the terrifying otherworldly foe known as the King of Nightmares. I want it. I want it right now. I'll take that one, please.
Yeah, that could be fun. Of course, she has many times with the Justice League Dark gone up against Nightmare himself. So
Yeah, I
I don't
don't
know.
really understand why there's a King of Nightmares and also Nightmare.
Yeah,
But
it's
whatever.
weird. Yeah,
Uh,
it's weird, but it could be all right. It could be okay. How about this next one here?
Lobo slash Animal Man, Scorched Earth. Lobo, the name makes entire alien races collectively wet themselves with fear. The main man is proudly hyper-violent, arrogant, loud, stubborn, impatient, and ill-tempered. Well, my goodness. The best thing about him is that after he completes his contract, he leaves. Until now.
Uh oh. Uh oh.
Um,
Uh
nah.
oh. No,
No.
I don't understand.
Here's why.
Yeah.
Lobo works as a I show up and cause chaos character,
Yeah.
right? I don't think he works as his own book character.
And why is he with Animal Man? That's a strange
That I
combination.
don't know.
It is weird. But yeah, no, not interested. So
And
far
why does
we
he have
got
dreads?
why not? So cultural appropriation, I guess. Zantena one, okay, fine. Green Lantern one, sure, all right. Let's keep going down here and see what all the choices we got. Go ahead, continue.
Son of the Creeper, an awkward teenager's life is turned upside down when he inherits his dad's chaotic powers. With his family in danger, Kieran Millar must save a father he doesn't know from the monsters he became. Well, first of all, his name's ridiculous. Not the Creeper, the other one. And why is he called the Creeper? First of all,
Well,
that's a really bad blurb.
it is, and the original Creeper, the name is kind of dumb, but the character is actually kind of cool. I wouldn't mind to see Return of the Creeper and see if it could be successful, but I have a feeling it wouldn't be, so I would vote against this.
Yeah,
I'd vote against it. Yeah, so let's see here. Justice League
here it
Fear,
is.
right, which we already
Here.
covered. So no, Robin, in the Blood Heaven apartment of Dick Grayson, a group of young people meets for coffee, donuts, and fuck it, no. All right, next.
Oh, pause off the Justice League. When the Justice League disappears, yeah, I'm out. I don't need a Jimmy Olsen story. Thank you.
Yeah, Super Pets, no, God, no, thank you. Go ahead.
Jesse Quick control. When Jesse Quick uses her speed to access an alien artifact from a long dead civilization, she finds herself imbued with the ability to harness and control the elements around her as her former super speed is drained. So, what? Okay.
So you're
But when the
changing energy.
power begins to corrupt Jessie, she must decide to give up these gifts or risk becoming quite literally her own worst enemy.
Yeah. Blue Beetle
No thanks.
graduation day. No, thank you. Yeah. Trapped between heroics and his future, Jamie Reyes is directionless. When the Reach interrupt Jamie's high school. Oh, we've seen that 5 times. Stupid. All right. Night Runner, Love in Paris. All of Paris is obsessed with an intoxicating, a virtual songstress. What's new? Whose holographic stage shows are lighting up the city of love. But when city of shit on the street. When the Vocaloid in Ingenuine's fan start to disappear, Night Runner must track down the infamous developer between the eerily realistic celebrity AI. Night Runner is basically Paris's Batman, by the way, just so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I don't know. It could be cool. But I don't. Nah, I don't think. If I can only pick one, that's not definitely not what I'm picking. So,
Yeah, no,
all right,
definitely
let's
not.
go. Next one, Swamp Thing, A House of Secrets. When love will not die, the dead must rise from the grave to kill it. Now that is a good blurb.
Hmm.
Louisiana, 1905. Caught in an eternal triangle of love and living death, the monstrous Alex Olson, his widow, Linda, and his undead rival, Damien, vie for control of the cursed swamp where life, death, the past, and the future spiral into one never ending nightmare.
Yeah, it's not bad, dude.
That's the best written blurb so
Yeah,
far.
it is well
That
done.
first sentence is like, excuse me? It's just got ya for a second there.
Yeah, this is
Very well done.
interesting. So that's three so far: Green Lantern, Zatanna, and Swamp Thing. All right, cool, cool.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Oh boy. Suicide Squad 7.
Blech.
Harley Quinn, of course, Harley
All right,
Quinn. Nah.
you don't
Moving
need to
on.
go any further. Yeah, yeah.
Asteria, the last Amazon. An immortal Amazonian champion returns to man's world to discover her and the Amazon sacrifice. Now forgotten, a new breed of heroes seeking power, glory, and dominance, and the secret family she left behind, offering one last chance at redemption. Is this a tie-in to the movie with
I
Asteria
it
in it?
may be, but lesbians will be involved for sure. Uh,
Probably.
yeah, Superman and Lois, of course, trying to get on the success of that CW one. Actually, whatever. Yeah, whatever, whatever. All right. So there's your choices. So we like three of them,
Yeah.
but we know this is complete and utter bullshit. They will pick whatever it is they want. So in the end, who do you think? What do you think they're going to do?
Justice League Queer.
I,
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to come out in June too, so
yeah,
it's going to be that one.
I think it's Etta Candy.
It'll be one of the gay ones for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
no doubt.
Well, because the Justice League queer is too over the top. It's too much. But the Etta Candy, they think they can get away with. So
Maybe it's. I mean, it's. I don't know. If I was a homosexual persuasion, I would rather rename it, but I'd rather have a whole Justice League arc devoted to me than just some random character nobody cares about.
well, the problem is, if you had actually had Justice League queer, if you ever seen any of these gay-led shows like Drag Queen or Queer Eye for the straight guy or whatever, they would never get anything done because all they do is bitch at each other.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Superman! What are you doing? That pink clashes with that. Just keep it to yourself, Flash. Yeah, I make my own statement.
Oh
I'm a living
no!
legend. Oh
Oh
God, listen to
no!
him go. Batman, you stay out of this. Right?
Oh no!
You know,
Please.
you know. That's the
I do want
reality.
them to make Justice League queer just to make the most catty version of Justice League ever, so I can mock it. The only reason. It's the only. I want to get some enjoyment out of it, so make it so I can mock it, because it would be worth. It would be worth that at least from a
Yeah, that's true.
distance to just
Yeah, we
point
can
and
have
laugh.
fun here. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Joe says, to be fair, lesbianism is inherent in Wonder Woman from the start. Oh, really? She did a porno with Superman. Did you know that?
Oh my. Oh
Yeah,
my.
yeah, yeah.
I've
All
always
right.
thought they should make many a porno together and have a beautiful family.
Yeah, I
Personally,
think so. I agree. I never understood the whole Lois thing. But anyway, this dumb. It's full of shit. They're lying to you. They are. They have. This is just for the saying you chose it. Right. Uh huh. Uh huh.
it's manufactured consent.
It's
That's what it
manufactured
is.
consent. It is. I thought you were supposed to
Which is a
ask every
shame.
5 seconds. Here goes pump one, pump two. Is it okay? Can I continue? Okay,
Oh
fine.
God.
Uh,
Which is a shame because that Green Lantern, that Zatanna, and that Swamp Thing actually sound interesting.
they do. Yeah.
Uh, but
Yeah.
the rest of it just sounds like utter garbage.
Yeah. Nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to happy news. You ready?
Oh no, I'm not even going to try that name. In Tom King's New Gods film, Dead at Warner Brothers.
Yes.
Thank God. Thank the New Gods. In fact, just whichever one was responsible, thank that one.
Yes.
Because no, leave it alone. Don't even try.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
can't.
No,
They
they
can't
can't.
do it.
Yeah. Well, they were going to give us the Tom King run on Mr.
Oh
America, right?
God. Oh
And
God.
that's pronounced Ava DuVernay, by the way. And she's an absolute
You
horrible
say so.
human. She hates men. She's a SJW
So
to
does Tom
the
King.
core. So
Tom
does
King
Tom
hates
King.
himself
He does.
miserably.
Self-loathing.
The man has serious,
Uh,
obvious PTSD from being in the service that he needs to get dealt with before he
yes.
writes another book.
Yes.
Because holy crap, are they glimming? There's just no hope in any of them, and it's horrible. They're not
No.
fun to read.
No, they're not. And it's even better news than this. This we all knew this was going to be horrible, and all the statements coming out of it were horrible. But it's not just Ava DuVernay's New Gods is being canceled. All of the Hamada stuff has been canceled too, which is all
Yes.
SJW based. As is Sarnoff, that lady who said, "Well, we really want a new audience. We're not because they didn't want to do the Snyderverse, right? Because people liked it, the wrong people liked it. But the thing
Yeah.
is, we have going on our side is AT&T doesn't care about anything. They just want money. And here's the thing." I listen to these liberals, these progressives, constantly railing on greed and capitalism and stuff. But the reality is, you want that. You want
Yeah.
those bastards to be fighting over your dollar. You want them fighting for your dollar because they will give you what you want. They will appease you and make you happy to get your dollar. This is why free market works, right? And
Well,
AT&T
that's
is a
why a
perfect
market works.
example.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Absolutely.
they only care about money, and I'm happy as hell about that.
I think you're mostly correct. I do think that they've shown that they have a little bit of the mind virus in them, but they're a real old company. They're one of the oldest companies around, and I think they understand that what their job is, and their job is to make money. And these films were not going to do that. There's no way this New Gods movie was going to be a success. Guaranteed flop of epic proportions,
Yeah.
maybe the biggest flop of all time. And I'm not trying to be like hyperbolic with that statement. It wasn't going to work. They don't have the talent in a director. Maybe there's one out there, but they don't have them to make a
No.
New Gods film work.
Well, DuVernay is an example of failing upward, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But thank God for AT&T. Yeah, Warner Brothers might end up saving the day, dude. I mean, look what HBO Max is doing. Snyder Cut, whether you like it or not, the fans got what they wanted, right?
Yep.
Godzilla versus Kong, lots of fun, kind of mocking at the SGWs a little bit.
And the director is very much pro audience of
Yeah,
that movie.
he is. Yeah, and they're coming out with a lot of stuff from Warner Brothers for through HBO Max. So we got to keep our eyes open. And oh my God, you've got to be kidding me with this shit. All right. Anyway, but that's good
Oh,
news.
Mr. In all
Good
honesty, and I don't mean
news.
this sarcastically, Tom King, I hope he's getting therapy, genuinely, because the man clearly has demons. He needs to get resolved.
Clearly he does.
Moving on.
And moving on, this ties in directly. Go ahead.
Rumor: Dwayne Johnson pressuring Warner Brothers to restore the Snyderverse so Black Adam can fight the Justice League. I hope this is true
Yeah.
because I would like to see that. In fact,
Well, and don't think that Dwayne Johnson doesn't have push because he does.
oh my God, are you kidding me? He's the biggest star in the world, biggest star since Arnold. It's not even close when you look
Yeah,
at the numbers.
he's
No
pushing.
one's close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has pull. If he wants something done, it's probably going to happen. He wanted this Black Adam role when
He
they
did. He's been
somebody
wanting
brought
it
it to
for-
him and he loved it. He said, "Yes, I want to do it," and he's been working on it for years. In
And
fact,
he's perfect for it. He is
Yeah.
perfect for it. And the thing with this as well, whether you like the Snyderverse or not, it is more of a classic storytelling. And we
Yep.
know that Dwayne Johnson is, I mean, he's a Hollywood liberal, but he's not one of these progressives. He's
Right.
not.
He's not a
Uh,
complete total wacko when it comes to
no,
that stuff. At
not
least
at
not
all.
yet.
Not like
It
Jason
seems like the
Momoa.
mind virus is working on him, but so far he's resisted it largely, except for when he endorsed Biden for president, which really, Dwayne,
Well, yeah,
Rocky, what are you doing?
money in the bank, dude. But
Yeah.
he's nowhere near as bad as Jason Momoa. That guy's a
No,
full-on
Momoa is,
libtard, dude.
yeah, he's a full-on simp. Um, no, I like The Rock still. On a personal level, I think he's the type of guy I think most people could just get along with, right?
Yeah,
Like
it seems so.
that's just who he is. Now, Vin Diesel isn't one of those people for whatever reason. They don't get along, but by and large, everybody else seems to not have trouble getting along with him.
Well,
Uh, and I think this could be great. I will, if it takes Snyder being the director of it, fine. But for God's sake, give me Henry Cavill as Superman,
yeah,
not as edgy Superman, not as breaking people's necks Superman, not as stealing people's clothes Superman. The Superman that he had him being at the end of the Justice League both times is the Superman I want. Please, I don't want the black suit. Get rid of that. But the rest of it, yes, his the way he carries himself, his whole aura as a character, how he shows up and things just get done. That is what Superman needs to be in these group movies if we're
yeah.
going to put him in a group movie.
And it'd be fun
And
to
he
see
killed
this.
it.
Yeah, he does, and it would be fun to see these two fight. With Dwayne, as far as referring to the chat here, I have a feeling that Vin Diesel's a bit of a prima donna. And
A bit.
Dwayne could have a little bit of that too, but you got to keep in mind he came up through the WWE, and I don't know
Mhm.
how you could really survive in that and be a prima donna with the ultimate prima donna in Vince McMahon being in charge. Um, right,
Yeah,
right,
he's there have been many of rumors about old Vinnie Mac, and he has a little white in the loafers. Let's put it that way. Um, but no, yeah, you're completely correct. I've known The Rock basically my whole life. I mean, not personally, but I've watched his career,
yeah, yeah,
and he used to be. He probably still is, but he understands where the wind's blowing. He's not an idiot.
yeah.
He used to be a fairly conservative guy, like just in the way he carried himself. Now his character was obviously over the top and ridiculous, but as a person, if I remember correctly, he spoke at a Republican National Convention one year, like stuff like that. So I don't think he's not as offensive to me, and I think it probably is on Vin Diesel more than anything. But
Probably
for whatever reason, yeah, they genuinely seem to not get along. It could just all be a work. They could just be working us.
they could be,
Could be,
could be.
especially with The Rock. But I don't think so. It doesn't seem that way. There seems to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
genuine heat there.
There doesn't seem to be any reason for it, right?
Yeah.
But whatever. But this is just another nail in the coffin, man. And how odd would it be that if it came out that Warner Brothers is the one that saved cinema? I mean,
It'd be great,
Jesus.
actually. Want to talk about a face turn?
Yeah,
The Warner Brothers,
that's
they've
my
been around
point.
since basically the dawn of cinema. That would be great. I think some of the old ways should make a comeback as far as how they do business,
Yeah,
insofar as towards the audience. I don't know about necessarily backroom stuff, but the way they behave with their audience absolutely needs to make a comeback for all of cinema. And I think Warner Brothers just has that old school mentality mostly, and it shows. Right? They did Snyderverse, whether it was AT&T's call or their call, it doesn't matter. They did it. They did his cut that the fans were clamoring for years.
and they're happy with.
Um, and they're, yeah, by and large, they're happy with. And I'm happy with either way personally. I wasn't expecting it to be a cinematic masterpiece because it's Zack Snyder,
No,
but it wasn't. It didn't offend me. The last 30 minutes of that movie, of that 4 hour thing, are amazing. It's the best Justice League stuff we've ever gotten. That's for
that
sure.
is true, and it's definitely better than
Um,
the original. That's fair. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So and with Godzilla vs Kong, the director of that was chosen by them, and they had to have known he had this, at least openly has this pro audience mentality,
right.
which is something that is just. I think we all kind of forgot what that feels like for a minute there, with Disney just beating the crap out of their own audience and calling them bigots if they don't like it. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see. This is why I think if you like the other back to Godzilla vs Kong, if you like that movie, support it as much as you can because we need to support the behavior that we want out of
Yeah. Yeah.
these companies. The fact that the MCU and the fact that Star Wars is so successful still, even though it's at least Star Wars anyway, isn't as successful as it should have been, um, is the problem. That's
Yeah.
why they keep driving it down this pathway and will continue to do so. Whereas if we had actually punished them at the box office like they deserved, that maybe I doubt it, but maybe things would have changed for us.
Yeah.
And this, I think, Warner Brothers with the Snyder Cut and the fact that they seem to have pushed aside all of the woke stuff for now anyway, um, is a sign that they want to go back to some form of normalcy in the movie industry.
Yeah.
At least they do. At least Warner Brothers does.
Yeah, no, I think it's AT&T more than Warner Brothers. And Joe, you're right about the animated stuff. But no, it's AT&T because we saw the shift when they took over. We've seen this shift, and that's why I put these things together. A lot of stuff we're talking about today
Mm.
is looking at what AT&T is doing, and I think the theme we're seeing is, cater to the fans, moron, right?
Yeah.
And that's what AT&T is basically pushing.
And
And
in
keep
fairness
in
to The
mind that,
Rock,
well, yeah, but let me finish this. Keep in mind,
go ahead.
Sarnoff, the media boss over at Warner Media, has been put on notice. She's been put on notice, and I'm guaranteeing
Yeah,
you she's on the way out.
I would hope because the stuff that she was saying is completely unacceptable.
Yes.
Just period. And The Rock, like I was going to say, in fairness to The Rock, he is audience driven by and large. And the problem with him though is a lot of his audience is in China, so he's very pro China in that regard because they
Yeah.
make him a lot of money. His movies do crazy in China for whatever reason. They love him over there, and but regardless, he's audience driven. He wants to do what will make him the most money and will make the audience happy. I don't think he's an ideologue. At least he's never been unless he just randomly decided to be
No,
last year.
I think he's
He's
just
never
greedy.
been. Yeah,
Yeah. I
nothing
think
wrong.
it's very
Hey,
simple.
hey, a little bit of greed, I can handle that. If you're gonna
Yeah.
preach to me, I got nothing for you.
Yeah, I can handle it as well. That's true. But anyway, that's the basic lineup I had for today. The theme is really talking about what AT&T is pushing. Satisfaction, customer satisfaction, it's a good sign. I'm not 100% sold. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but it looks like AT&T has put their foot down and said we're going in the direction that is about our customers, not about your politic. And thank
And
God.
if this DC poll turns out to not do what we expect it to do, and we
Mm.
actually get one of the good options, that would be another sign
It
that
would be,
somebody at
but
the top has said enough.
I
It's
don't
time to
know
make
if
money.
AT&T cares about the little stuff like that. But
They might
we'll
not.
see. We'll see.
They
We'll
might
see.
not.
I
And I
wanted
agree, actually, Joe. I agree the animation stuff is better
it is better.
than the live action stuff. I meant in live action. That's the best
Yeah.
Justice League live action stuff we've ever got.
However, Thunder, to end the show here today, we're running a little bit over, but to end it, I kind of wanted to, we're always talking very specifically narrow mindedness here in what we like, you know.
Hmm.
So I kind of figure, hey, what does the rest of the normies think? What's their entertainment news? What is the normies news? What's better than entertainment tonight? You know,
Oh no.
that would be mainstream, right? So let's take a look what the normies are paying attention to. Okay. DMX's family asked for continued prayers as rapper remains hospitalized. Aw, does he got COVID? I don't know. Let's see here. Hilary Duff, Victoria Beckham, Gigi Hadid, I don't know who that is, and more stars celebrate Easter. Yay! Yay! I really want to know what Hilary Duff thinks. Uh, Ashley, whoever Tidsdale, I have no clue who that is, says she's finding who I truly meant to be after becoming a mom. Okay, okay. Travis Baker spends Easter with the Kardashians.
Oof.
ah,
That's a big old oof.
ah, ah.
Oh
Uh,
man.
pregnant naughty Nash, whoever the fuck that is, reveals sex a baby. All right, I thought you weren't supposed to do that. Who is Billy Lord? I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm getting old. I don't know.
Prince's children are speaking. Well, let's click on that. Oof. Oh, holy shit. What happened to her face, dude? Is that a meme?
Oof.
No, it's
Oof.
not. Dude, she's doing like her dad. Oh my god, dude.
That's a little rough. Yeah,
Holy
it's not good.
shit, dude.
It's
I
not good.
That's not a meme. That's a real picture.
Yeah, it's
Oh
not
my
good.
god, dude. Oh wow. He couldn't be prouder of your sister on her 23rd birthday. Well, she's tattooed up, she's cutting up her face, and she's one of the most famous sluts in Hollywood. So you should be proud
Eesh.
there, Prince.
Mm.
Holy shit, dude. That's I can't. I can't. I can't. That's I can't.
I'm gonna tell you
Uh
right now, the most interesting thing to me is that Rug USA is selling their Easter styles for
yeah,
75% off.
that's
I'm in that.
nice.
I'm
That's
interested.
nice. Last chance, 30 under $50 finds a Nordstrom spring sale. Ooh.
Oh, well,
Ooh.
there you
Oh no,
go.
here no. The best Easter dresses and outfits ideas for the whole family. We got to click on that.
Uh oh.
Okay. Well,
Oh no.
you're either a skinny model or you're black. So I don't know. These aren't good for us. I don't think we're not supposed to be
Oh.
looking at this. That is an ugly ass woman, and she looks like she should be one of the house. I'm not supposed to say that word. Peoples.
Good lord.
Doesn't she? Doesn't she? Am
Yeah,
I
she looks
lying?
like a caricature
Am I
from
lying?
1960
Yeah,
about a movie from 1860.
you get him, Aunt Jemima. You get him. Skinny jeans, whatever. I don't know. Does that get you laid, dude? Probably. Oh, we got a cotton bird's eye shoe, whatever the hell that is. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that. I need that in my life. Yeah, no, no. Oh, polka dots. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm good with
Yeah,
that. I'm good with
that
that.
one's not
I
terrible.
like
Yeah, that one's
sundresses,
okay.
dude. I like
Yeah,
sundresses.
yeah, yeah.
I dated a little girl back when I was like in the a teenager in the 80s. She loved wearing these sundresses. Oh my god, dude. She was so hot. The sun coming through it. I couldn't get her out of them quick enough, dude. She was such a little hot thing. I don't know about your experiences when you were younger, but I mean, I don't know the chats either. But here's the thing: not all women are created equal when it comes to the boudoir. A lot of
Sure.
them, they give effort. They give effort, but then occasionally you get the little energetic energizer bunny that will just fuck your brains out all night.
Chester, it's PG show. What are you doing?
I had a nostalgia moment. I went with it. That little girl, I remember that little girl, dude. Oh, she was. Oh my god, she's the kind of rolling the hips and just kind of looking at you, determined and just yes, baby. I'm married. I'm married. Stop those thoughts. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, I'm better now. All right. Sorry. Sundresses. You got something on me. You know. My wife was wearing a sundress when I first saw her too. I wonder if there's a connection.
Oh, that's the magic trick. The secret
Yes.
to Chester's heart is a sundress.
I looked I looked away for a moment and I come back to Chester buying dresses. Uh-huh. You degenerate. I am not a degenerate, Amaron. I'm appreciating the woman body and their hip movements. I don't know. I've never cared for these kind of dresses though. These kind of, high waisted, just kind of hanging on you. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan. Oh.
Oh God, that's oh.
Yeah. Come
Like,
on,
are they
dude.
making
Come
fun of that
on.
woman or what?
I think they are.
Because
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this poor lady.
And ain't
I actually
nothing.
feel bad for the lady because she's all into it. She's got a big shoot that she's doing for entertainment tonight,
Yeah.
and she's excited and she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna be on there, and they
Yeah.
put her in that.
Yeah, I know.
Like, come on, man.
And I'm not laughing at the fact that she's a fat lady. There's plenty of fat people. I don't know who cares, right? That has nothing to do with
Yeah.
it. But there are clothing that a fat person can wear that
Yes.
that accentuates makes them look better.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a Porky Pig moment
That
there.
isn't it.
That ain't
That's not
it,
it.
dude. That ain't
That looks
it.
like part of a tent was turned into some clothes.
Oh, it's Chester and the
Oh,
Sundresses started with a Sun-Maid Raisin Girl on the box. Well, that's a little child. That's a little bit different, but a lot different.
raisins.
I don't know what this is. It's a scrunchie. I don't know where's
It's
that supposed to go.
for the hair.
Oh, now see, this is better. All right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
that's nice.
know that this works with the bunny ear things for this lady, but she's a bit too old for this. But
Hmm.
it's okay. For a younger girl, she's too old for that. Come on,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I
Um,
agree.
yeah.
She looks good though. I mean, she at least looks
It
good in it,
looks
unlike
fine.
the other one up
Yeah, it looks
there.
fine. Yeah, this is stupid.
That's
This is sad.
ridiculous.
This is sad. It's not flattering. No, it isn't, Joe. But we're paying attention what the real people, the mundanes, are interested in here.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about skinny? He looks fine. But what do you think about the whole skinny pants thing that's going
No,
on?
no, no. Wear pants, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Don't make your legs look smaller than they are, because
yeah,
the vast majority of men have tiny little chicken legs, unlike
yeah,
me. They don't have giant freaking like 12, 14, 16, wherever they are now, inch calves. So don't do that to yourself. Women, I can assure you, they'll tell you they think you look good, but they want the bigger, brawnier man, or at least one that looks like it. They just do. It's not fair, little guys, I know, but it's just a fact of nature. And most women are going to be more attracted to a man who has size to him, or at least looks like he does,
yeah,
especially in a suit. You should look full and filled out, and it should accentuate your form if you are lucky enough to have one, which this gentleman does. But wearing skinny pants in general, skinny jeans, skinny slacks,
slacks. Yeah,
no, it ruins that look, in my
yeah.
opinion. Now you don't have to wear big baggy like parachute pants or something, but just normal cut is what you
Yeah.
need.
Well, and black dudes tend to look better in fashion anyway. They just
Yeah,
do.
they do.
And but I think he looks fine. But I agree. I couldn't wear that kind of thing anyway. My wholeness is too thick for skinny jeans. But I got those draped down shoulders. Those
Yeah.
those fighter shoulders. I got those
Hmm.
kind. Which are intimidating as hell. They're very useful. Because
Here, I can give you an image. Imagine Alex Jones in that outfit, and that's
I
what I would look like, basically. Just
Yeah.
all torso and no legs, but the legs I have are incredibly thick and brawny. So it would just I would look like I was like the big lady up there in the ridiculous outfit. That's what it would look
Yeah.
like.
Well, actually, other than the fact that I got a little bit more gut, you ever seen Gerard Butler in the Something Citizen, where he's killing people because they killed his wife and the cops get in the way, and I forget what that
Yes.
is, but
Yes,
I
I know what you're
kind of
talking
that's
about.
my build. I have that build just with a little more gut. I
Yeah.
have that. I'm not I don't have that muscle guy build or the skinny muscle guy. I got that kind of thick thing going on.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
Joe Maroney. He says, tell that to Mick Jagger and Robert Plant. Come on. They have a little bit more going for them than their clothing. I'm just going to tell you, they could probably wear a literal chicken suit, and women would throw themselves at them because they're rock stars. So of course they're
Law-abiding
going to get
citizen, yeah,
ladies' attention.
of course, yeah. Before you know it, Chester's going to put rhinestones on his cell phone case. Just saying. Come on, I'm trying to keep in touch with the mundanes, man. I don't know what that is, and I shouldn't ask. Okay, and that's it. So we got our fashion. That was actually more fun than I expected. Uh, I feel bad for that lady though, man. That was not right. That's not right.
No,
That's
that's
mean.
look. I get the whole fat acceptance thing and all that. I get that, but come on, you can't make her look like a joke. And she looked. It looked like they were making fun of her. Honestly.
Yeah. Ooh, designer masks. Okay, these are more normal accessory stuff. Baby bump swims. All right, fine. No,
Do
God,
like a
no.
classic one piece bathing suit. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
It's
don't
just
mind them.
maybe it's the pinup thing or something, but I've always thought they were better than most bikini suits,
Now,
personally.
yeah, no, I agree. They can be sexy. But this right here is a much better example. This is a big lady, but
Yeah,
this suits her much better. Much better.
yeah,
Yeah,
she
much
looks
better.
pretty decent. Nice, nice shows off what she's got there.
Now hold on a half second there. Uh, Now I dig this look, actually, dude. I dig this look. American country. Yeah, baby. You.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I don't why. Okay. Oh, whatever. All right.
Tico potato soup. Look at Joe Morone's thing
Yeah,
in the chat.
she was wearing the roast tico potato suit, dude. She was. She was. All right. Well, that okay, whatever. But
Oh my
we had,
god.
fan speak has gone fashion. Tell your friends. So anyway, I just thought it was funny. I find it ironic that of that whole page of stupid, vapid Hollywood crap, we clicked on the merchandise stuff.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah. That's
Uh,
far more interesting than anything going on with celebrities. I think that's mostly a man thing. We largely don't care. There's a few
no.
exceptions, but mostly I couldn't be bothered by their lives or their existence in general. I just don't care.
Yeah. I saw one headline that had Miley Cyrus was singing something from some kind of classic something or another, and I was like, oh my god, that must have been torturous.
Oh,
Must have been torturous because she doesn't have she needs auto tuning desperately, right?
yeah. I'm gonna stick by it. Aside from a few exceptions, female singers largely cannot sing. They
Well,
all sound the same,
these
and they can hit
days, yeah.
maybe 6 notes, and that's where they're at. You
Well,
get a male opera singer in there, and they can hit the whole oct. They can go all down the whole thing. They can hit it perfectly. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's a few exceptions, females out there. There is, but by and large, especially the popular ones, they're not good singers.
well,
They're good at what they do, but they try and take them out of that, and they fall apart.
Well, it's the failure of low expectations.
Yeah.
Men, and particularly white heterosexual men, you have no choice. There's no one there to help you. There's no free money for you. There's no grants. Matter of fact, there's obstacles. So you have to
Mm,
work really, really hard to succeed. And men
yeah.
in general, especially these days in liberal controlled media and entertainment, you have to work really, really hard. Women are being given a free pass, and that means they're not trying hard. Therefore, you're getting what you paid for, right?
Right.
And that's the problem. If you go back to a time where everyone had to work hard to become famous and to get accepted, get their award or what have you, it was much more even, right? And there's been many wonderfully great female singers throughout modern history. It's
Yes.
just fallen off. Just like name a great actress these days, they're
Yeah.
falling off because they don't. There's no expectation. They don't have to work hard, and they think
Right.
it's
I agree.
enough. It's not.
I think most of the best female singers are even before my generation. Really, I
Yeah,
was
oh
born
yeah,
in the '80s,
oh yeah,
so I'm trying to think of one that Whitney Houston maybe who just has singing skill.
oh yeah.
Period. Like don't need any kind of frills. Could come out there a cappella and in just about any range nail it. That kind of a singer. And there's very few. Whereas if you could look around, there's a lot of men who can do that even today, but they don't get largely as famous if they're not as hot as some of these ladies are. Um,
Yeah, but
and that's, I mean,
you
that's
know what I
just what
mean.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, and hopefully it'll come back around because there's so much opportunity and ability to learn these days that you could have amazing female entertainers right now. There's no reason
Yes.
we shouldn't have it, but it's just this low expectation. Arlene
Well,
says,
think about like go back in the past and go back to some of the old starlets of the past.
yeah,
A lot of them were incredibly talented dancers.
oh
Some
yeah,
of them were incredibly talented
triple threats.
singers.
Yeah,
Yeah, they could pretty much do it all, and they had to earn it sometimes, in non-scrupulous means, but they had to earn their spots, right?
they
They
did.
didn't weren't just given to them. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them, and that's something that I think has been lost, like you said. I think a lot of these women, either they have a relationship with somebody, or they just have the right politics and a decent look, and they just build around that.
Yeah,
As far as instead of having like a singer should be able to sing for crying out loud, just
right.
can you sing? Can you do this without assistance? And most of them, from my experience anyway, just they're not that great. They're
Well,
not that great.
Well, no, they're not, and hopefully it'll come back around, and we'll see some hard work, and we'll get some. But
Yeah.
perfect example, the lady, I can't remember her name offhand, but the lady who played Lily Monster. Now she's an American icon because she was in the Monsters, and we love her. But that
Yes.
lady started out as a cabaret dancer. She worked her ass off to get in a movie here, there, kept fighting, kept fighting, and kept fighting, and finally found her thing that made her famous, and made money off of it. That lady
Hmm.
worked her ass off, and she
Yes.
probably slept on a few couches as well. But she worked her ass off, and she is a triple threat. She can sing, she can dance, and she can act. And so many from her generation can do all of those things, right?
Yes.
Think he's a pretty good actor with a gay boy there that's in what's that show? How
So
I
you're gonna
Met
have
Your
to be more specific.
Mother,
Oh,
White Castle.
oh my gosh, Brain. He's also in Starship
Yeah,
Troopers.
and he plays Doctor something, which is hilarious. What is his name? He's got one of the
Ah,
three names. Anyway, that dude, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, Yvette DiCarlo. Yeah, yeah, triple threat. But you know the gay dude I'm talking about. He's great. I love him. But that there's another example. Triple threat. That guy can sing, he can dance, he can act, he can do it all. He worked his ass off to
yes,
do it too, right? And a lot of the dudes still have to. Neil Patrick Harris, thank you.
yes.
Doogie Howser, yeah. Um,
Doogie House. Yeah,
and a lot of the dudes are still those triple threats. They can do everything, right? Because they have to. The girls these days don't, and I really hope we get back to a point where they do because I want to be able to have a favorite actress, actors who I'm looking forward to seeing. And
yes.
the ones I do like, I don't see anymore because they're getting older or they're not the right politic or I don't know. Yeah, Doogie
Right.
Howser, thank you.
Well,
I
you can see this just in look at the superhero movies. We talked about this before. The men get themselves in the shape that is required
Yeah,
usually,
they do.
and they do what they need to do to get the appearance right, to get the aesthetic of their bodies right,
It's
and
their
that's
job.
not easy. Yeah, that's hard work for especially a lot of men. Not everybody can be
No,
6-pack abs, and they just don't have
no.
the genetic build for it. And these men get themselves in that shape, and they bust their ass for 6 months or so or longer to make sure they get in that shape. They maintain it throughout filming, usually, and yeah, that you can't fault their work ethic. Is what we're saying here. Where a lot of these women, usually anyway, at least modern ones, just don't seem to. At least they don't display it if they do have it.
I have
That
a two
same
pack
level of work
personally.
ethic. Yeah. I always say I have a cake. All right. It's protecting the 6-pack. I had to
Fair
get
enough.
padding for
Fair
it. I
enough.
didn't want it to get
Yeah,
hurt.
yeah, yeah. I had a cake for a little while, but I've got myself back down to the 2 pack. I don't know. 4 pack could be coming. Could be. I don't think so. Too old for that. But yeah, that's a fair point. And I'm not. And the thing is, if you listen to what we're saying, we're not actually picking on them. What we're
No.
doing is we're wishing more for them, right?
Yes.
Because it comes down to that whole proverb of give a man a fish, you'll feed him for the day. Teach him how to fish, you'll feed him for life. This is one of the most truthful proverbs we have. and
Yep.
and and we're seeing a lot of failure on that these days, and it's because of all of this low expectation. People are be giving stuff, and it's free and easy, and we're seeing the results. And here's the thing
Yes.
you have to keep in mind: we're just talking about entertainment here, right? Which in the end
Mhm.
ultimately doesn't matter. Do you not think this is not also trickling down to STEM fields? Because
Oh,
it
absolutely. It's
is.
trickling to everything. Everything.
Yeah. So
Um,
your medicines, your technologies, things like that are going to lower. And I think we've already seen them doing so.
well, like a great example, like somebody had put in the chat there, Arlene said there will never be another Julie Andrews or Andrews.
Yeah.
There's not a Julie Andrews. There's not a Lucille Ball. There's not even a Betty White.
No.
Like, where are these iconic actresses today? We get one will have a little run for 5 or 6 years and then she's gone. Whereas they've had careers that lasted decades and decades. Betty White was still just doing TV shows like 5 years ago. I don't know if she still is, but she was in her 90s
High,
because
yeah, highly skilled
you just
people, dude.
can't replace that level of competence. Like I just the other day, my wife and I just randomly started watching Golden Girls on Hulu, right? Just
Mm,
for whatever. Betty White in there, it's unbelievable. Like, where is that level of acting? It's in a random sitcom that doesn't really, it doesn't really matter. It's a sitcom, and her acting in that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Her facial expressions, like you were talking about earlier, the facial expressions, the emotion, just a simple sitcom role that obviously became iconic for her
Yeah.
because she's so great, and she just kills it in every scene she's in. She kills it.
Well, she
That
plays
is
the dimwit
gone.
really well. She does.
Yeah, she does.
And the dimwit is usually your smartest person. And when you look at it, like the old comedy teams and stuff, Smother Brothers, Abbott and Costello, et cetera, et cetera, the one who's coming across as dumb is actually the smart one that's doing everything, right? It takes a lot to be that stupid.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, I gotta call it. I'm already way behind, but that's all right.
Get out of here, Chester. Get out of here.
I do. All right. Well, thank you all for coming in. That was a lot of fun. We actually had some fun. We did. I don't feel as dirty and upset as I usually do. I was better, I think. No.
Yeah.
No.
No, I
Okay.
think this week especially for me, Godzilla vs Kong didn't upset me. I was
No.
very worried it would, and that is more than I've been getting from most major motion pictures for a very long time. So I'm happy with that. I've had a pretty good weekend. It's Easter. It's a holiday I actually
Mm,
do tend to enjoy,
mm,
um, because it's just a happy holiday. There's not, by and large, it's been very well melded between Christianity and the pagan stuff and just generic cultural stuff.
sure.
And I think most people are okay with it. There's not a lot of meanness around it like there is Christmas. It's just Easter, and people are just allowed to enjoy themselves. And
Well,
that's nice.
it is,
That's
although the
pleasant.
companies are no longer putting Easter on any of their stuff because it might offend the non-Christians. And of
Oh,
course,
God.
why would the non-Christians be buying Easter stuff?
Why would they be looking in the Easter section and the holiday section around
Weird.
Easter time?
Yeah, it's very strange. Anyway, thank you all very much. We'll check you out tomorrow with Comics News today at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will do my best to find some comic booky stuff. Later.
Later, guys.